Chooky beep.
Hello, everybody. How we doing today? Yeah! We got the high energy.
Chooky beep.
How's everybody doing? Oh, Joe Pearson's got to go? Oh, no. Joe, this is going to be good. This is like all live today. We're going to have live callers calling in, literally. This is going to be monumentous. All right, let's kick the Chuki off. Ugh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. We have like tons of conversation going on here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, like Trish Armijo said, like a real talk show. Can't wait to hear people's real life experiences. Ya damn right, baby. I hope Drew has good news about the job offering. I do have good news, but it's not 100% inked yet. Do you know Drew doesn't get too excited when things aren't in writing yet? Unless we're inked, you ain't gonna catch me blink in, okay? No ink, no blink. But it should happen. That's all I can tell you. It should happen very soon. I have word that it's a done deal, but you know, you gotta wait till it's a done. You know, HR's called you. They said that it's a wrap. You're in. Really Organic is asking, what is a done deal? I have been called to the major leagues once again, back to the corporate world. Drew Morgan has to go fulfill his destiny and work for the man. Never thought I'd do it again in my life. Jack Hunter hits me with some Birdman. So let's start the day off with me talking about two things. There's only two things. No, okay, three things. Three things that could piss me off. All right? First thing, you guys already know what it is. I don't get upset with people being offensive or mean, but the first thing is somebody being annoying. Annoying people or people that get off on being annoying, I hate you. I hate you. Okay? Let's leave that at that. All right? Annoying people, I hate you. Second thing, traffic. When you're trying to get somewhere and like you're going to miss a train or something, that really upsets me. Especially when you plan correctly and you like double the amount of time that you think you're going to need to get somewhere and you miss your, flight or train. That is very stressful and it makes me angry. Okay? All right. Those two things are obvious. Now, the third thing that can really piss me off is when I don't get a haircut that I like. And today is one of those days. I got a new girl at the barber shop that I go to, and this is a good thing. They don't speak English too well there, okay? So you explain to them what you want, you show them a picture, and then they just They just get the weed whacker out and just shave the whole thing off. Like, what are you doing? As soon as I feel those clippers up my back of my neck, beep. Like, what? No, I told you to leave that alone. Don't touch it. Yeah, they gave me a good old clipping today. I didn't ask for it. It looks good. It looks okay. All right. It looks fine. It's not like maybe I'm the only one that would notice the difference anyways. But you look Italian. Yeah, I was going for avant-garde vegan, to be perfectly honest with you guys. If you guys know what he looks like, I want one of those little like moppy toppies where you get like the little swirls going backwards. See these little things, these little curls? I know this is like the dumbest conversation ever, but you know what? 64% of my audience is women anyway, so maybe they are interested, all right? So you men out there who are just like, damn it, Drew, get to the vegan bashing. Just wait, all right? Don't worry, it's gonna come full circle, guys. She did not speak Spanish. She was, we may have had better communication if she spoke Spanish. She was a elderly Asian woman. And normally, like, they're so mechanically good at cutting hair. Asian women, particularly, are so good at cutting hair. Like, they will not let a single hair be left on the side. Like, you'll never get a stray hair. But they're also going to cut your hair the way that they feel like cutting it. So, it is what it is. Clown Mazard says, get to the vegan bashing. Grow your curls back. You look so cute. Gem knows. Gem knows the curls. You mean like in this photo right here? That's never going to happen again. Especially if I'm going back corporate. So, the one thing I did recognize when I was getting this haircut and I knew she was cutting the shit out of my hair, I was like, all right, I'm going corporate the next couple weeks, so I've got to just deal with it anyways. I'm gonna have to have a more conservative haircut regardless. I might not even be able to have this beard, to be honest with you. I don't even really know. Yeah, fill him in, Gung Fu, fill him in. Drew's having a bad day. He got the wrong haircut. Oh, okay. And let's add the insult to injury here. So she asked me if she could trim my beard, and I said sure. Because normally they go in there, they weed whack the beard real quick, whatever. And then she charged me $10 for it. They always throw it in for free. I've been going there for like years. And I've never once been charged for a beard trim. She cut my neck and then charged me $10. And then I had to end up come home and trim it anyways. This is not what she did. I had to do this myself. So I got paid I paid $10 when I wasn't expecting it, for her to cut my neck, and then I had to come home and do the work anyways. So that's enough about the haircut raging. I know that these are like extremely first world problems. So we're just going to leave it at that. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, wait. I can't hear myself. Hold on one second. There we go. Much better. I'm just screaming at the microphone. I love the conversations going on in the chat. What was he supposed to get? Tell me? What'd I miss? They messed his hair up. No. She cut right here. Like, I even had to tell her because she was like grinding it in, you know? And I was like, hey, slow, please. And she's like, uh-huh. It's blessed to have first world problems. Planetary Farm says, I've been learning to cut my husband's hair. We bickered about it for sure. That's hilarious. No more Asian Baba. Could be worse. You could have got a mohawk. Lord Farquhar. Haircut from Shrek. Man, I'm too old to know who Lord Farquhar is. Hold up. Let me do a quick aha. Oh, that's clean. I like that. Okay, so we got a couple things going on today. Let's get to business, shall we? Although we don't have a guest, so it's just me and you today. All right, so first things first. I have the super anti-lag chat today. So there's no delay. So I have people complaining to me every day, Drew, your chat isn't there. That's because I run the no lag chat. And today I'm running like the super no delay. So like, if you guys type it, I see it in like 1 second. Well, you hear me respond to it in 1 second. So it keeps the chat and me more connected, which is how I like it. But it once YouTube has to do its whole processing thing once the video is over, just so you guys know this little back end stuff, technical details here, like 3 hours after the video posts, then the chat and the video will be synced up. That's assuming that the chat doesn't get blocked from YouTube, because that happens sometimes when there's like way too much like racism or negativity going on in the chat. That's why when people post kind of like racy stuff, not racist stuff, but racy stuff, kind of edgy stuff, I actually have stopped letting it show through. And some of you guys, I like you, and I would like to let everything flow through. Honestly, I don't care. I would like to have zero restrictions on the chat. But I think what YouTube does is it punishes the creators when they allow too much edgy content through, because it becomes less sponsor appropriate. Does that make sense? What up, Mohammed Wasim? How you doing? Bonafide Vegan says, if the carnivore community can show me randomized controlled trials of vegans having severe long-term health effects, then it's worth discussing. If all you have is anecdotes, you can say anything. Okay, well, I will continue saying anything then. Bonafide Vegan, all you got to do is open your eyes, man. Like, you don't need me to tell you my anecdote or to share with you the dozens of personal stories that I know. That's good enough for me. All you need to do now is open your eyes and see how well the vegan diet is really working for people. And on the internet, I keep seeing people in the comments on YouTube, they're claiming that the vegan diet works really well. Oh, by the way, I want to share something with you guys. We're always just beefing with these vegans online. Hold up. I'll show you guys the latest beef, the latest online beef. Here we go. Watch this, guys. Called out super hard by me. No response, of course. Neil Barnard big leagued me. But I can't wait to post about this. All right, look. Check it out. Just desktop. Bam. All right. So check this out, guys. More bullshit, more lies from the vegan community. Pay attention, Bonafide Vegan. This is your people here. All right? This is your people. Neil Barnard. From Alex Morgan at the Women's World Cup to Wimbledon champ Novak Djokovic. Let me make it bigger for you guys. Novak Djokovic and Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton. The power of plant-based nutrition was clear at major sporting events this week. Check out my new blog for more. And then he posts the article here. Vegan power crushes the British Grand Prix and Wimbledon. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this article? Does anybody know? Anybody know what's the issue here? Does anybody know why I wrote? That'll help you give a clue here. Djokovic is not vegan. These guys take plant-based people and they call them vegan. And then they say, vegan power! He credits the vegan diet to his win. This guy is not vegan. He's probably plant-based for like a few months. And he's going to be in the Game Changers movie. And he's getting paid for it. Best believe that. It's so silly. It's so silly. And then this guy responds, showing your animal anger. Nope. Just speaking the truth, man. And then finally people go, he is plant-based, not vegan. But of course, this will spread like wildfire. The vegan tennis player, nobody's going to actually do any research and say, is this guy actually vegan or not? No, he's not vegan. So stupid. It's so stupid. It really pisses me off. Again, the first thing that pisses me off is annoying people. This is annoying. Unethical vegan. This is a perfect example of unethical veganism right here. Like, they just take a half truth, roll it on up, and then it's like, it's like taking a McDonald's hamburger, it's made of like part sawdust, part chemical, and part beef. And then they like roll it up and they call it a beef hamburger. You know? Like it's not 100% beef. You can't call a plant-based person 100% vegan or 100% plant-based if they're not 100% plant-based, right? That makes sense, right? It's crazy. This is crazy. But that's like the standard thing now. That's what, what's his face, our buddy Logan Blake does. I can't even keep up with his names anymore. The Carnivore Slayer. He wishes. Can you do a live Frank Tufano hair critique? Ooh. Frank is definitely rocking the Guido cut. I got nothing bad to say about his hair. Most people on the standard American diet are plant-based already. That's true. Yeah, 70 to 80% of whatever they eat. But I mean, they're still eating so much vegetable oil and fried vegetable oil. They're not doing, they're not eating healthy, but it is what it is. Didn't know you subbed to Drew too? We got to get him and Frankie in a live stream. I've tried to get Frank on the live stream, man. He just won't bite. Oh my goodness. I got sent a message today. I love how people send me messages just to help me stay current. You know what I mean? Somebody sent me a DM today. Let me show you guys what they showed me. My goodness, this is shocking. Seriously shocking. And I really hate picking on people who take a lot of criticism already publicly. Like I don't really like to jump on the bandwagon of this type of thing. But let me find the profile. Give me 1 second here. Yes, right here. You guys ready for this pick? You guys ready for this? This is posted yesterday. Ouch. Seriously. What the heck? 14 years raw vegan today. I'm so incredibly grateful for this journey. It's changed my life. I went from being a struggling, hyperglycemic, diabetic 18-year-old to a strong, healthy woman. That's up for the debate. While it hasn't been an overnight transformation, every growth opportunity I've encountered has shaped who I am today. For those who say that diet doesn't matter, I'm a living testimony that it does. I agree, it does matter, and that this is the proof that it really matters. Not only can eating more fruits and vegetables help you to feel your best, but also it helps you save animal lives and the planet too. I've learned so much the past 14 years, and what I'll share with you is this. Keep moving forward. Every step you take matters. Start with one fully raw vegan meal a day. Plan, prepare, share. This is an abundant lifestyle, and while it may seem like it's all about the food, it's about much more than that. It's body, mind, and spirit healing. I love you. Thank you. Here's to another 14 years to come. I showed up to a party with all the snacks, and all I got to say is, can you taste the rainbow? Kylie Sclater says, she looks fine, Drew. Really? I don't think so. That's very hard for me to say that. I don't like saying that people look physically bad, but when you are a health promoter publicly and you are claiming a raw vegan diet is doing X, Y, or Z for you, you should have to demonstrate that in your physique. Like, let's take Chris Kruger. Friend of the channel. The guy's been eating a ketogenic adjacent, carnivore adjacent diet for 10 years or so, and has been on YouTube consistently for 10 years and has only improved his physique and improved his hair quality and strength. The guy's in his mid to late 30s and he looks phenomenal. I'm not going to say Chris Kruger looks like he's in his 20s, 10 years younger, but he performs like a 20-year-old. Chris Kruger absolutely crushes it. There's just no denying that. But the face, I mean, geez. Seriously. The hair is like dried. The skin looks so dry. And the eyes look so dry and like weathered. I'm sorry, Christina. I'm so sorry. I almost met her in Hawaii. She was supposed to stay with us for a week, but she didn't. Elise Parker says, "Let her be." I'm gonna let her be. I'm not gonna keep going on about this. This is a wrap. It's a done deal. Jack Hunter says Kruger is sexy. Ryan Vandermess also says Christina is much more pale in real life. She's wearing a lot of makeup in this picture. Yeah. So anyway, Kylie Slater says sun exposure, lower body fat, lack of makeup, chemical-based face care, etc. can make you look older. To me, she looks like the way the hippie ages, if that makes sense. Respect your view, though. Do I have any counterpoint to that? Because I saw a lot of people who aged the hippie way in Hawaii especially, and they all looked kind of like this. They all aged beyond their years very quickly. I do agree that sun does that. I do agree that having a lean physique does this, but this girl's only like 30. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. You could say what you want. You could think what you want. I'm just saying this is what you have. And we're seeing it consistently. People are saying Ted Carr is aging rapidly. You know, I talked to Ted yesterday in the DMs. He said he wants to come back on soon. And the insider info on this is from Megan Elizabeth. She says that she must have fasted recently because she looks way thinner than usual. That's Megan's take on it. She just texted me. And, you know, Ted, I don't know if you guys have seen Ted's latest photo. Mr. Ripped guy. Let's pull him up. Let's pull up Ted Carr. Why not? I told Ted that he has to come on my show soon and explain what he's doing. I salute the gains. Ted's making gains on fruit. Apparently, that's what Ted claims he's eating. So if Ted is legitimately doing this on fruit, I am impressed enough. Let's just say that. And I'm no authority on muscle gaining, but I'm calling a little bit of bullshit here today, right now, on this. Really Organic says Ted is hot. LOL. Ooh. So, Ted is apparently fruitarian. I said, Ted, what are you doing? You need to share your secrets. He says, I will come on your show and tell all soon. What do you guys think about that? What do you think he's alluding to here? I don't think he's on anything. I don't think Ted would take steroids. I don't think this is a body indicative of steroids. But he is making gains. He is strong. Ted's stronger than me, for sure. But he's making consistent gains. He's leaning out. He's maintaining muscle mass. He's gaining muscle mass. So, I don't know. A little questionable. I feel like he's at least on some sort of protein powder. That's all I'm saying. That's like a fair assessment there. So today, as you guys know, we were supposed to have Robbie Barbero on. He canceled last minute yesterday. No issues there. He let me know he had a lot of stuff going on. I told you guys that Robbie would be on the show today, so I'm sorry if anybody was hoping to see him today on the Wednesday show. I'm going to try and reschedule him for next weekend. This weekend, probably Saturday morning. And we have Rob Stewart probably coming on the following weekend then. And I want to start getting Vegan Deterioration on the show as sort of like a more... I haven't talked to her about this. She might be in the chat. Is she in the chat? Let me see. She's not in the chat today. I want to see if she's willing to come on as more of like a recurring guest. Would be cool. Tread Carr. Oh man, being called out for steroids when you're not on steroids is an extremely it's an extremely big compliment. Ted's the next Durian Rider? Is that so? Have him on. That's not a roid body, but he's got great definition for someone who eats no animal products. I agree. I just think that he is consuming protein powders. That's all I'm saying. Let's see here. Megan's sending me some more insider photos of Christina, fully raw Christina. Let's see what we got here. We may be pulling up some insider info here. I don't know what you're talking about, Meg. So Megan says this is her from summer and she looks great here. And this is like a recent photo, but I don't know about that. Come on, camera. Work with me, baby. Can you, please? One time? Let's see if it focuses. There we go. What do you guys think? I don't know about that, Meg. I don't know if I'd say that looks amazing. It's mean. I don't want to. It's mean. It's just mean. I don't want to say any more about it. That's messed up. I don't. I wouldn't say that to her face. Honestly, that's pretty mean. Ask Megan if Christina has new blood work to share. She's still a high heart disease risk due to lipid problems. Maybe she'll hear this and let us know. I don't think she's posted any new blood tests publicly, to my knowledge. That's for sure. Anti-vegan says, just because these vegans can still look beautiful while starving and malnourished doesn't mean they're healthy. It just means they have good genes and reserves. Perhaps. Why does everyone associate steroids with Mr. Olympia's guys? That's not how it works. I do agree. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are on steroids that you wouldn't even really think. And also there's guys on steroids that do it for nothing. Literally no pay, no fame, just to look good and walk around in regular clothes on the street. They want to look good for the chicks in the club or whatever. I know plenty of friends that in Newport Beach that do that type of thing. Lester Hahn says that Ted could easily be natural. So. Planetary Farm says she's clearly beautiful, but she looks dried out. That's all I'm saying too. I'm saying it's a little bit, the skin is a little bit. She needs to take care of it. That's all I'm saying. It's still really mean though. Tina Knox says Durian Rider looks okay, but only with his fake teeth. But before those implants, he looked methed out. Kinda, yeah. Ted is getting on that Vivo Life protein powder for sure, dude. That's exactly what I think. Ralph Smart claims to be a psychologist, but doesn't have his degree. That's not a good thing. He shouldn't be saying that. Did you see Fully Raw or FRCs? Who's FRC? New vid, very gaslighty. Who's FRC? Jack Hunter. Did you come across anyone following the carnivore diet with low blood pressure issue? I don't know. I don't know enough people on carnivore who have taken blood pressure. I think both Joe and Chase in our experiment both had fine blood pressure, though. And I think Chris Kruger talks about his blood pressure is good. Fully Raw Chris. I don't know who Fully Raw Chris is, actually. Eric B says, hey, Drew, want a good laugh? Go read the comments on the official Game Changers trailer. Pure delusion in its purest form. Dude, trust me, I've been there, and I find it very annoying. FRC equals Fully Raw Christina, but she spells it with a K. How can she be FRC? Let's see here. Really Organic is asking Elise Parker, what did you think of Charlie's transvestigation on you? It all seems nuts to me. I don't know if Elise Parker is going to even want to respond to that. Let me take a guess what she would say. This is ridiculous. We watched it together, actually. It was so stupid. He's ridiculous. Between the crop failures and Trump's trade war with China, the USA is heading into famine this September. Warlord Pliskin, are you kidding me? Do you know how well the USA is thriving right now under the Trump regime? You kidding me? Trade war with Trump. Trump is going to win any battle that anybody in the world throws at him. 100%. Have you had vegans send you that webpage where all the long-term vegans from 2013 claimed they were thriving on long-term on a vegan diet? I've had tons of vegans message me with like posts from ex-vegans from back in 2015, you know, make the connection with the animals. I feel so great doing this. It's just weird that they don't accept the fact that things can change, and they can change quite rapidly too. It's not even like it's a quick change. Sometimes people are feeling good. Year 3, year 4, and then like year 3 or 4 hits, and then they're just all the health and all the symptoms just come at the same time, and then you're done. Happens all the time. Planetary Farm says Elise is a beautiful woman. LOL. Charlie's on the shh, guys. Yeah, I think he takes a lot of heat for that, to be honest with you, and I think it bothers him. He's pretty open about the fact he doesn't like people making that claim or criticism against him. I wouldn't either. I more so feel bad for Charles. I mean, I don't know anybody afflicted personally close to me with serious drug issues like that, but you know, we have to put ourselves in his shoes sometimes. And who knows what kind of hard life that dude had growing up. And if he got, you know, on that stuff at a young age, which I know that he did, I mean, man, you know, you wouldn't wish that on anybody. So I have more compassion for him than I do for most people on the YouTube front. The vegans I have no compassion for. Vegans are choosing this for themselves. It's like being overweight. If you want to be overweight, it's your choice. If you want to be vegan, it's your choice. If you got hooked on freaking heroin because you had a shitty childhood and you did your first needle at 14, dude, you got to have compassion for that kind of person. Did you see the house that Charles and his brother grew up in? It's like a dilapidated house you'd see in a horror movie, that the walls were like peeling up and there's no windows on some of the rooms, if I recall. There's no heater. And they live in the Northeast, in the woods. I mean, it's, you know, it's not your standard American dream upbringing, from what I can tell. You don't get biblical flooding from a cooling planet. Water evaporates because of heat. Yeah, I hear you, Planetary Farms. I hear you. Well, then, you know, we're on the same page then. It's all good. Yeah, Michael Sanchez, good point. Real science is never settled. Man, that's the first time I've ever heard that, and that is freaking true. It's crazy how people want to be like, science says this. Science. Dude, science is changing every few years. Have you heard of Abdullah Zinab? He just smashed the record for riding across America eating all vegan. Yeah, I know who Abdullah is, man. That guy is hilarious. I used to watch him all the time. He's a little nutty. The Glucose Network, right? Wow, he's looking different now. Jesus. He's looking vegan now. Properly vegan. Oh my God. What? People are going to say he lost all this weight because of cycling. But wow, look at his face now. Let's just take a little. Properly vegan. He used to be a powerlifter. Remember, guys? Like 3-4 years ago.
Link, yeah.
He was real strong.
Tell us if it's working. Tell us if you can hear us.
But I can't see you on my feed. Maybe I have to go to the. Oh.
Boom.
Total sunken eyes. Total sunken eyes.
Boom, boom. It's working.
Got the
Welcome
narrowing
to the live
face.
stream.
Sunken
Good to see
eyes.
you all.
Hold up. Let's take a peek here. Hold on. Let me Let me see if we can
Farthest I've ever been is like
see if we
Hawaii.
can find some old videos of him. Hold on one second. Jesus, look at those arms. This is interesting. Hold on one
On
second.
this
Let's take a
week's
look.
episode,
Wow, look at his face, man.
we go down to Adelaide and try the
Looks like a different person, bro. Dude, are you kidding me? What the heck?
#1 video.
Look at his neck, dude. He's got the beads now, bro. He's all fucking wooed out, dude. He's all veganed out.
By CNN in 2017. I go on a 300k ride, talk about it, and
The
not
Joey
film
Carbstrong
it.
ads, exactly.
And then we attempt to train through.
I'm
the
gonna go
aftermath
back.
by doing a
Don't worry,
Jay
Rosie.
Cutler style shoulder and arm workout.
I gotta say, his skin looks pretty good. His skin looks pretty good.
Fuck up. You wait your turn. That's how it's fucking done. You see that? See that? Wait. Oh, I'll
Yeah, he's jacked though.
take you up to have a shower.
Susan.
Saved my eyes, didn't it?
Unless that's old.
I look normal.
I could fully open my. That's the first time I've ever been able to fully open my eyes.
You want hummus?
Oh, let's lay down there. I need a hug.
There used to be a world here. Shouts to Master Ukwe. Let's take a seat. Let's do a ride recap.
Okay.
Hold on. So he's still jacked, but he's that skinny in his neck. Remember, I said this the other day. I said that vegans can keep. I said this about Robin, Freely's boyfriend. He still has the same arms that he had like 3 years ago when Vegan Deterioration did her recent video on him. You can tell, like he's got videos where he's like reaching out like this, and he's got the same thickness in his arms, but his traps and his neck is just gone. And his face looks so different. And this is what we're seeing with Abdullah right here. Like, you see his arms. They're the same. His arms are jacked. And this is why the vegan-specific deterioration is very interesting. It's not like a typical lean look. It is something to do with the hormones, the androgen receptors shrinking or something. I don't know. Look at his arms. I mean, he's jacked.
I don't do that.
I mean, look at that. He's still got a big bicep. He's still got pretty thick tricep and bicep width there. You know what I mean? But his neck is gone and his face is gone. That's the vegan-specific deterioration. Like, he's still got plenty arm there. Look at that bicep. That's a big-ass bicep. I mean, he's not as big as he used to be, obviously, but, I mean, it's a very solid bicep there.
The extra supination at the top. Reminds me when I was young, I used to watch Rich Gaspari. He had like, it actually fucking works.
Dude.
What's the point of training? Let me put it this way.
I gotta say, his skin does look pretty good, though. Looks pretty smooth. Interesting. He still looks okay. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he looks a lot different.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
You can say what you want, but he looks a lot different.
You've always been a winner, you know, deep down. But it's
Oh, he's still with his girlfriend. That's cool.
One just ends up working. And then the champion. I came back that night and I watched, you know, like.
So what did he do? He
So honestly,
biked
like,
across America?
I was like, I need to when you take this and then wake up 12 hours later.
Sunnyless.
I mean, okay, cool. That's cool. I mean, I'm surprised that Neil Barnard didn't post about that. An actual vegan guy. That would have been more accurate. Okay, what do you guys say we get to the crux of the show here? He won Trans Am. He won Trans Am. What does that mean? Trans Am bike race. Today I had an opportunity to ride with the leader of the 2019 Trans America Bicycle Race. It's happened in June.
All right. Abdullah? What's your last name?
Zenab.
Zenab.
He's got fucking.
This is so awesome, man. I mean,
He's got
you're
bread.
like literally a day ahead.
I think so, yeah.
Are you setting records?
I don't know, man. Like I flip between wanting to and then just being like, oh, I just want to make it, eh?
Because couldn't you just like, you could probably just stop and sleep for a while and
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna win pretty comfortably unless something terrible happens, right?
Yeah, I just want to get it over and done with, though.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to finish and think, oh, I could have done it quicker and I didn't.
Yeah.
I want to finish knowing that I did it as quick as I could.
I mean, you're from New Zealand, right? Australia. And you just won something. In India?
Yeah.
Got buns, burger buns.
We had a bike race that was across Australia.
By the way, guys, totally side topic. I'm waking up super hungry now. It's this lifting in the gym. I think that's a big key to know if your body's anabolic or not. If you wake up hungry and you're thinking about food the first second you wake up, then you're probably in a growth mode. And you probably need to eat a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that called?
It's called the Indian Pacific Wheel Race.
Okay.
He smashed the Trans Am bike race record by 1,000 kilometers. Interesting.
That was okay. That was a lot easier.
I mean, congratulations to him. That's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I got really nothing to say about it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that I've said this a lot. I think that vegans can do well in endurance sports, especially low intensity endurance sports. I mean, all you're doing is carving up. That's what these guys are all doing too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how carnivore would work on this, but let me take 1 second here. I'm going to keep playing this. I have to check a voicemail real quick.
Yeah.
Excuse me for one moment, guys.
Up, down.
What'd you think of Missouri?
Yeah, I mean, that was hard.
I did that
Okay.
a couple years ago.
Actually, I don't need to check
was
it.
stunned by how
I read it.
like,
Oh, it was way harder.
Thank you,
than
Apple.
Colorado.
yeah. That's what everybody says. They're always like,
It's regarding the job, so, you know,
Colorado a lot easier than-
I've got to do what I got to do. I'm going to call them after.
They decline
I did let them know I had things to do in the morning.
just to get over them.
yeah.
You can't relax. So
Let's see. Somebody, are you talking to me, Warlord Pliskin? Can you answer the question of how those two things are related? Is that for me or is that for somebody else? Or Michael? Your audio keeps breaking up, Drew? Really? Is my audio breaking up? Okay. I'm playing the video. I don't know if you can... I don't know if that's what you're hearing, but it seems my audio is working, at least from my end, and everybody else seems to be having no issue at the moment. So that's cool. Thank you guys for responding for that. Remember the name says anti-vegan. If he was a powerlifter before, he had a lot of nutrient stores to spare. He might last longer. That's a good point also. Man, dude, when I first went vegan, I had a lot more just thickness in general. I started out at 168, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it slowly came down. I didn't get down into the 140s where I stayed for a long, long time, and I'm still in the 140s right now. I didn't get down to 140s for like over a year. Well over a year. How was the next interview, Drew? Melina, I'm assuming you're talking about the job interview, not the YouTube interview. But the job interview did go well. So I have to call back the person who's in charge of the whole thing and then talk about the next steps. Okay, so let's open up the phone lines, guys. That was the whole point of this episode. And let's see what we get. Is anybody in here right now interested in calling in? On your phone? You just call in on your phone. I'm only going to answer calls that have a phone number. So if you got a blocked call or whatever, I'm not going to answer it. You got to call in with your a phone number, a real phone number. And we're going to try and do quick rounds here. We're going to give each person like one topic. All right. We'll see how it goes from there. And then we can see what happens. This is like, as far as I know, nobody's been doing this on YouTube. especially not in the diet space. All right, so if anybody wants to call in, you can dial this number. You guys ready? It's 714-922-0637. You call that number, I will answer it. And in the meantime, we're going to be sitting here talking. The number, once again, is 714-922-0637. So hopefully I will be able to answer the call from here, and it should all patch through and do all the things that I needed to do. Jack Hunter says, can I call from Scotland? Of course, as long as you can dial that number. It is a California phone number, Southern California phone number, so whatever you're doing on your end is up to you, but you gotta call that number. I can't use FaceTime. We got our first caller here, guys.
Call from
Tuesday with Anti-Vegan.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, Miss Anti-Vegan.
Hello, I need to put you on mute on my chat.
Perfect.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I actually wanted to bring up the topic of like long-term vegans.
Okay, let's talk about it. What do you got to say about it? I know that. First of all, let's let everybody out there know that you personally are an ex-vegan. Obviously, the name Anti-Vegan, that is what you go by online. You have a channel and an Instagram, and you do talk about this stuff all the time. You post about, you post comparison photos between long-term, day one vegans.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
like
trying
3
to
years
do
later.
more of like a detailed, more look on vegans, because Vegan Deterioration's channel is doing like the real obvious ones, and I'm trying to show like the gradual decline, between 3 or 4 years, and see just, wow, you shouldn't look that much older within 3 years.
Okay. I agree. And what did you think about the Christina thing this morning?
She looks way too old. I mean, I'm 32, and I looked worse than her about 4 months ago, and I feel like I look so much better now than, not better than her or anything, but for myself with my wrinkles going away and all that.
Cool. So you said you kind of wanted to have a specific angle on it, and we'll definitely let you roll with what you want to bring up.
I just wanted to know what you guys thought about, I guess, one of the old ladies who's a long-term vegan. Her name is Gertrude Weaver, and then there's another one named Laureen Dinwiddie or something like that. And I put their names in the chat. I want y'all to look her up, look both of them up.
Okay.
And
Gertrude, let me see the name on here.
Gertrude is Gertrude, and if you just type in her name, and then vegan.
Okay. In YouTube or in Google?
Google.
Okay.
And you'll see, like the first one comes up, it says meet the 5 oldest people in the world and their secrets. Right. So if you click that one, it's to me, this is propaganda, and there's no proof. How do we know when? They don't say when they went vegan, how long they've been vegan, and
what is her last name?
People keep sending me, Weaver.
Weaver. Okay. Oh,
Gertrude
my goodness.
Weaver.
Okay. Gotcha. So let's see
and
what we
she's
got
like
here.
the one here in America that all the vegans have been posting these articles of just like long-term vegans, and it's dumb because they're like from 2013.
The Arkansas lady, is that her? Gertrude Weaver?
Yeah.
Okay, so Arkansas woman 116 dies just 6 days after becoming world's oldest person, and she had invited Obama to her 117th birthday party in July. Okay. Where does it say she's vegan in here? Let's take a look.
Is that she died as a vegan, but it doesn't even say anything about her being a vegan for her whole life. Was she vegan just 10 years?
I mean, we know that
that
is absolutely impossible, right? Because there's no way that like somebody. That's why like I actually kind of call bullshit on anybody who's been vegan for maybe like more than 10 or 15 years. Like the amount of fruit and knowledge that the vegans have sort of amassed and created in the past 5 years is staggering. To like know about all the omega-3 stuff, the keeping your brain healthy, the DHA, everybody's eating algae. like all that stuff is new. All the supplements are new. All the mock meats are new. They're all within 5 to 10 years old. So I don't know how somebody this old would even be a vegan for more than like the last 10 or 15 years.
Right. I think that's impossible, and it's just another version of their propaganda. That
For sure.
chick who wrote A Vegetarian Myth, the Lear Keith, I
Right.
think
Yeah.
she said she was vegan for 25 years before she finally, all these autoimmune disorders, and she finally broke free from that. But she ruined her life. She talks about it. She hates veganism. She's pretty much like us on it.
Yeah. Another guy who's come forth as well, who I like, is Robert Kassar. He seems a little bit crazy to most people, and maybe he is, but he is very grounded when it comes to what veganism did for him. And keep in mind, he was vegan for over 12 years, I think going on 13 years. And he's like, I mean, so that's why people are like, I've been vegan for 10 years and I'm going strong. It's like, yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen in year 11, or if you're vegan for 20 years, you don't know what's going to happen in 20 to 21 years.
Yes, because it happens so fast. It's like you're doing fine for so many years, and then boom, a year, 6 months, all falls apart. That's what happens.
Exactly. And yeah, what?
Sorry, I just found out Robert Kassar, and I know that you have other calls, and I wanted to let you go. I feel really bad for taking up all the time.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm trying. Congratulations on being the first caller of this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna do like just little segments with people, whatever feels good. But yeah, thank you for calling in, and if you have anything else to add, we can do that.
Of course. I mean, I have a lot to talk about. Definitely would love to be a guest on your show once I have my brain back. Like, I feel still a little crazy, neurotic and all these things. So I want to be 100%.
What are you eating exactly? Like, what's your protocol to recover or whatnot?
I guess I'm doing a little, I'm not labeling myself, but I've been eating a lot of ketosis kind of style, I guess you would say, where I'm trying not to eat a lot of processed food and grains and breads and things like that. I'll eat sourdough. That's the one bread that I feel totally good on. But no, I'm doing a lot of intuitive eating also. Like, made a huge mistake and went to Dairy Queen last night. Just my boyfriend and I had this wild hair, we had to go to Dairy Queen, and we felt horrible. Like, huge mistake. But I really like intuitive eating because you just listen to your body and you can tell, okay, I'm never going to eat that ever again.
Well, here's the interesting thing about intuitive eating. You can look at it from both angles, right? Most people think intuitive eating is, what do I feel like eating right now? And then listening to your body that way. What I think of it as is eating something and then listening to what your body tells you after you eat it, and then listening to the feedback.
Yeah, so that's how I think of it. Yeah, and you also have to listen to your body, like, what am I craving? And it reminds me of pregnant women. Like, if you're a vegan and you're pregnant and you're craving meat, that is the ultimate sign. If you're denying your body that, you see all these pregnant women, they're sick. Just, it's terrible.
Now, were you craving animal foods towards the end of your veganism?
Not consciously, but yeah, like, you would smell barbecue and it would smell so good. And,
always. So good.
Eggs and things like that.
Because I personally, I didn't crave animal foods at all, ever, as a vegan. Even towards the end, I was getting sick of my food, and it was especially making me feel shitty. But I wasn't like, damn, like I could really go for a burger or eggs or whatever. I wasn't grossed out when I made them, on the other hand. But I'm just saying, like, I hear of people...
It didn't cross your mind.
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind at all either. So that's what's interesting to me, is how you can really, like, almost brainwash yourself or reprogram your taste buds to kind of forget about these things. Of course, now I think these foods are so delicious, and when I look at vegan food, I'm like, why would I waste my time eating that?
I know. I saw the episode where Elise drank milk for the first time, and I loved it. I thought it was so funny. It's exactly how my reaction was. And now, oh God, it tastes so good. Like, I can't believe I went that long without milk.
Yeah, she's kind of expanding her openness with different foods. I think a lot of people are almost programmed to be fearful of new foods, like, oh, milk is bad. They're like still kind of thinking about it from the vegan mindset. And like, why not try the most things and then see how you react? Because I mean, why not eat more foods if you can? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
Thank you for the call. And I think we'll end it here, but I appreciate all your support in the chat and everything else. So I will hope you watch the rest of the show, and I'm going to take another caller now.
Yes, of course. Thanks, Drew. You have a good day. Good
All
luck
right,
on
you
your
too.
job.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Brian wants to call in. Anybody else want to call in? The number is 714-922-0637. Again, 714-922-0637. And Really Organic was asking if it's going to say her phone number. That I don't know. So I know you like to be protective of your stuff. So chill out on it for now, and the next caller that calls in, we'll see what happens. So it doesn't show. It shows their number on my side, but hang on.
Call from
JJ.
JJ,
Drew.
how are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. How's it going? What can I talk to you about today?
Okay, so I've been vegan for about a year and a half, and
Okay.
2 days ago I finally ate some ahi tuna,
All right.
and I thought it was gonna either do nothing or make me sick, and my whole face, I couldn't believe it, was like buzzing. My brain was firing on all cylinders. My face was like warm on my nose and under my eyes and stuff like that, and I couldn't believe just like how good I felt. And I thought it would have been BS. I didn't think it would have done anything, but definitely helped.
Did you get the brain tingles? You know, they like it kind of just like, I don't know. It feels like a lubrication goes into your head,
Most definitely.
eyeballs, head, even when I had my first meal of meat, I felt electricity in my fingertips and in the back of my head. It was fantastic.
Most definitely. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought everybody was just kind of, saying these sort of placebo type of effects were happening with them, and I thought it was kind of BS. And like I said, I just thought I'd get sick or nothing would happen, and I felt amazing. And it's difficult, as you know, trying to. That's the only thing I've eaten. Was the ahi. I had 2 pieces of ahi split over 2 days, and I don't know. I'm gonna allow myself to keep eating animal products and see where it takes me, but it definitely destroyed my health. It only took a year and a half because I didn't have very good health. And I just kind of wanted to, verify, get that message out there that you're trying to promote, and say thanks. I appreciate it.
Before I let you go, or before you pop off here, what were your symptoms? Like, what made you want to do that in the first place?
I went vegan in the first place because I was having pretty horrible symptoms. I was vomiting. I was having it was for health, and I was having pretty much. I really wasn't sure what was happening. I was getting food poisoning type of symptoms really often, and we couldn't figure it out. I was going to a gastroenterologist. I was going to the emergency room. I was going to my regular doctor. I was going all over the place, and also, out there kind of practitioner, not out there, but not in the mainstream practitioners either. I was also going to all the naturopaths and homeopaths and that kind of stuff, and nobody could figure it out. And I was getting really, really ill. So finally I just said, hey, let me try this. And one of the homeopaths also agreed with me. She said she thought my liver might have been burdened a little bit. And so I decided to do that, and I started to feel better at first. It seemed like which I probably think is just I went really strict with it. I've always eaten really healthy, but I went really 100% whole foods. The only thing I ever bought in a package was almond milk, and the occasional, maybe every couple months, like get some Alyssa's healthy vegan bites, but they're good. But anyway, I was really strict about it, and started to feel better for a little bit, and then after that, everything started going downhill really quickly. It was only about 6 months. My hair was falling out so much that I cut it off. I had really, really long hair most of my life, and I had to cut it all off. And then I kind of ignored it. Not ignored it, but I thought maybe I'm just too stressed out. I had a lot of stress going on with work and things like that at the time, and thought maybe I'm just really stressed, and kept at it. And then eventually I started having skin problems. I had skin problems that never got better. I had awful stomach bloating and gas and things like that, which I was not accustomed to before. And so much so that I would try to like stay home and work rather than going out and whatnot. And I'm trying to think at the moment. I've got a lot of things going on at the moment. I just happened to catch your show for a couple minutes and saw you were taking calls. But I don't know. I think that's about it.
Cool. Well, thank you for calling in and thank you for sharing. I think that we are always used to hearing about people 3, 4, 5 years in, but honestly, like I like hearing from people who it kind of failed for quickly, because I feel like those people just don't ever identify themselves with like the vegans or anything like that, and they just kind of fade out on their own. You know, think how many people go vegan and then quit a month later. You know what I mean? And then like they don't even tell anybody that they bothered when going vegan. They just like let it go. So I think it's important to highlight how many people are just kind of silent and sort of failing within the first year and a half. I mean, I think it's very important to let people know that there's a lot of stories like this as well, you know?
Exactly. I do want to be fair about it. I do want to say that I haven't had the greatest health, for the last few years. And we did finally figure out, what was going on when I was having some of these food problems, food poisoning. What I called food poisoning wasn't actually food poisoning. We found out, that I had a problem with my pancreas. Apparently, I guess it's like a hereditary thing, but still, I just never got better. And then also at a year in, my hair started falling out again. And then now it's been a year and a half, and I've been, I forgot to mention, I've been having to go to the local cancer center every Friday and do iron infusions. I took it pretty far. I took myself down to the ground, I really wanted it to work. I thought, what a great thing for the animals, for health, for the environment. But like you said, they're the three big lies of the vegan diet,
So with the iron, though, I find this very interesting. I've called this one of the death sentences of the vegan diet, because I've never heard of anybody bringing their iron levels back up on a vegan diet. And I personally know multiple women who have had this issue. So once again, just so everybody can hear, like everybody understands that you got low on iron to the point where you needed transfusions just to stay on the diet. And there was really nothing that you could do. You were eating mostly home cooked, high quality foods, high quality vegan foods, plant-based foods. And you still couldn't raise it up. I know a girl that was eating, her RDAs every day was like well over 100% on the iron intake. So many greens. Of course, it's coming from high oxalate foods, spinach and things like that, bok choy and whatnot. We were even looking up the foods that have the high iron, the greens that have the most iron, and she was eating those. And she was so tired. And it didn't fix until she went back to animal foods. And I love that you called us today and that you just did this yesterday, and that I can tell you're kind of like raving about it, and I can't wait for you to have your next meal, and then keep up with us in the chat and let us know what happened. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to do, but I'm pretty excited about it. I just want to mention one last thing. I'll let you go.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You just reminded me also. I do want to be honest about it, in that I lost my cycle maybe 2 months before I went vegan. But, that happens with me occasionally. I get too stressed out, and I'll go a couple months without it, and then, things will be okay, and it'll come back. But once I went vegan, I still haven't, it's embarrassing, but I still haven't had it. It's, a year and a half now. And I've never gotten my cycle back. And before I went vegan, maybe I'd go 2 months, I think the most 3. And, it would come back immediately. But it's a year and a half in, I haven't had my cycle. Unfortunately, that ties to sex drive. It's just kind of ruined everything. And I think things happened really quickly with me because my health was poor to begin with in the first place. But, I just definitely wanted to let people know that I don't think it's, I went in a little older than most this time. I was vegetarian for about 7 years when I was younger also, and also I became anemic then, and I didn't quite need iron infusions then, but it was really bad. And like you said, all I eat, I feel like I'm a little more fortunate sometimes than most might be, in the sense that I've got a full-time assistant helping me cook and helping me at home and helping me in the kitchen. And all we do is get the best of the best of the best and cook it all day long. And I could show you pictures, anytime, of the fridge, the shelves, the whatever, and I've got the juicer, the Vitamix, the this, the that. That's all we do. That's all we've been doing for the last year and a half. Pretty much, is working and also trying to get my health back. And it's gotten so much better over the years, my health, until finally this last year and a half, and it just went all in reverse and all downhill with a quickness. And I'm going to be starting a channel also,
Cool.
and so I'd hope to keep in communication with you a little bit and give you an update.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great. And I just want to let you know that I too was starting to become sort of, like you said, you're in the kitchen, you're doing all this stuff. Like that was me in my 30-day juice fast period, where I was like almost not obsessed with healing, but I was so excited about learning about healing. And I talked with Elisa about this yesterday, is the people who are most excited about healing and these like regenerative techniques and all this stuff, those are sick people. When you do start to get your health back, you kind of move on from this stuff, because there's better things to think about in life than how to heal and regenerate your body. You're feeling robust and you don't feel like you need that so much. So I really hope you get to that point yourself and recover.
Awesome. Thank you. Would you terribly mind if I told you the channel name?
Yeah, no, go for it. Shout it out. Shout it out.
I've got 2 channels, just secured the names. I haven't posted any content or anything, but one is called It Takes One, and the other is called To Know One. And it takes one to know one, but what the It Takes One channel is going to kind of be about, hard things that we all deal with, maybe rough upbringings, different kind of things like that. And then To Know One is going to be about, how to kind of heal and move on from all that kind of stuff. So.
All right. Well, thanks for being an inspiration for people. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks so much. You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye. Okay, that was JJ. Hope you guys got the channel update from her. Let's see here. Cool. Perfect. And I'm getting updates from the work people as we do this as well. Everything's moving forward, so gonna have another little update tomorrow. Little interview tomorrow. 3rd interview, whatever it's called. Let's see. Really Organic says, I think we're speaking on different topics. Okay, you guys are having your own conversation. I'll let you guys have your privacy there. Can I call in with a restricted number? Yeah, I'll let you do it because you told me ahead of time. 714-922. Uh-oh. Oh no, why'd they cancel? The number is 714-922-0637, guys. So call in. What's up, shaman-splaining? I think we may have passed you up on this one. Hello? Interesting. It's not letting me answer it. Apologize for this, guys. Technical difficulties, as usual. Huh. Whoever you were right there, I'm sorry, but it wouldn't let me answer it. So I will try it again if you do call back. Carson, by the way, Drew. Carson, do I know you? Do I know a Carson? Jack Jackson, welcome. Oh, I think I know who this is. Okay.
Call from
Brighton Fuller.
Brighton, the best Fuller. Brighton Fuller, welcome to the Drew Morgan Show.
Wow, this has been a long time coming. I'm so happy I'm on the show.
I'm happy you're on the show too. I'm so happy to be talking to you for the first time. How's it going?
Oh, it's definitely going.
Did you hear the last caller by any chance?
Yeah, I did hear her for a little bit. Popped in and out.
How do you think that relates to your experience? Like not really believing that meat could do this thing, and then it just all of a sudden triggers something.
Well, it's really interesting because you see people that are extremely happy, that are healthy and living beautiful lives, and they never even think about whether or not they're vegan or carnivore. They're just sort of going about their lives happy doing what they do and living in balance. And they're not restricting themselves to a certain belief system. And I think that is really imperative to health.
I do agree. So what did you have anything specific you wanted to call in today about? This is your time, Brighton.
Okay, so Yeah, I mean, I did want to call in and just say that I unlisted my videos because of a security issue, but if anyone here is listening and they're not able to listen to the actual videos that I've already made, I may list them again in the future, but for anybody who is listening that has watched the videos and knows a little bit about my story, I've just had a lot of really interesting experiences recently with my own personal like tumor growth. And actually, it's really interesting. I noticed that since I began eating meat again, that the tumor was actually appearing on my face more. So that doesn't mean that eating meat will make this bigger, but I was almost eating maybe too much meat because I was so sort of heavily steeped in this ideology that, okay, I got to eat more meat, and I had to get into this way of thinking in order to help myself. And it was actually kind of, I think, hurting me because I really wasn't balancing it with the fruits and vegetables. And so, it's just something I really think is a really important message to anyone that feels like they need to subscribe to a certain belief system about this type of thing. I mean, I think it's just really the most important thing to just have a really balanced lifestyle. And it seems so obvious to some people. Oh, what a concept to have a balanced diet, a balanced nutrition. It seems like, to me, like a light bulb went off. But to other people, it probably may seem like, okay, well, yeah, that's obvious. And I just think it's really, for anyone listening, I just think it's really important to remember that and not feel like we need to attach ourselves to one way or the other, but to remember the balance between these two things. So that's sort of a little bit about why I called, I guess.
Oh, I do agree with you. And I just want to say that the good news is if you, let's say, try a keto or carnivore diet where you're just overdosing on meat, and let's say that you go against the grain of the community or whatever, and you start eating a balanced diet, there may be some out there who call you silly or stupid for doing that, and that's an opinion, but nobody's going to call you a bad person for it, which is the stark contrast to the vegan side, which is like locking people into the ideology based on morality. And I think people get really sucked into that aspect of it. So at least it's a lot less dangerous. Somebody calling you stupid for eating some beans and rice with your meat is a lot different than somebody saying you're a really sick, twisted, bad person. You deserve to die, not the animal, blah, blah, blah. And we see that all the time. It's really sick. It's really disgusting, actually.
So to attach my own personal morality, or to equate my own personal morality and who I am based on what I am eating is, insane.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I think that's just really important for anyone who's listening who may be a vegan. I was a vegan for anyone who's listening. I was a vegan for about 9 years, and I went into it for health reasons. And later, I was really considering animals more so, and really felt like, okay, I'm doing all these good things for animals, but really, like, I'm the animal that I need to take care of the most, and so that's why I began eating meat, because I had so many issues with the vegan diet that were life-threatening. So it took me a little while to actually balance all these things, but that's really just kind of the answer. And instead of arguing this or that or what's right, what's wrong, it just seems like that's the answer. It's so simple. It's like, I don't even know if I'm saying anything of value right now, but it just seems like that's the answer. And I'm not really
update?
Sure what else to say.
What's the update if you're not making videos for us all to hang out and watch anymore? Can you give us any health updates as of recent, like
Sure,
what's weight and
so
stuff like that?
I've been fasting for health reasons for about probably the past week and a half, 2 weeks, and I've actually noticed the tumor shrinking on my face. Like, I can actually just feel that it's like kind of going away. I've been incorporating a lot of fruits and vegetables in my diet. I've definitely been eating, fish here and there, not excluding any of that, but just incorporating all of these things. And, I've had conversations with people who I'm sure have read studies by guys in Manchester that I'll never know wearing white lab coats. And that's great. I'm not sure what they're trying to say. I'm just basing this on my own experience. And, I think for something to be really meaningful for anyone and to really go about their life making decisions about things, they really have to go based on their own experience. And this is my experience, and I feel like it's valuable because I know a lot of people struggle with it, feeling like they have to attach themselves to a certain belief system, and it's so easy for someone to manipulate themselves to be doing one thing or the other thing. But for someone like me who has done this, in the beginning very strictly for health reasons, it's just, I realized after almost a decade that attaching to yourself to one belief system about something is really not healthy at all, and that it probably actually affects your health and is very detrimental in a way. And there's definitely a lot of long-term vegans. Take like Marcus Rosecrans, for example. Marcus Rosecrans looks incredible for his age. Okay, and I think that's another thing that I just wanted to bring up.
Well, we do want to take into the account he's in show business, and it's pretty clear, at least to me, that he's got some face work done and whatnot.
Right. There's all
but
these different things.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's important to remember the nutritional requirements for men and women are extremely different. So a lot of times we hear about like vegan carnivore, this, okay, that's great. But like men and women are different. I have to produce another animal inside of my baby making system. Okay. And there are different nutritional requirements that I have compared to a man. So to think about it in terms of like vegan or carnivore, it was okay, that's one way of thinking about it. But for a woman, it's a little bit different. So as far as like Marcus Rosecrans goes, I don't really know what Kara actually looks like because I feel like she's always wearing so much makeup and she's always trying to like cover up how she actually looks. And I don't really know their situation or what's going on with them, but they do a very good idea of convincing people of that lifestyle. And I think it would be great if they talked a little bit more about the balance between having animal proteins and, the plant-based, lifestyle and whatnot. But, their channel's their channel. I can't change these people. That's just how it is, I guess.
You made a point about the baby making system, and it's funny because like 3 years ago or like a long time ago, I heard vegans saying, why do you think you need to eat muscle to build muscle? That's ridiculous. It's the same thing as saying you need to eat eyeballs to get better vision or to repair your own eyeballs. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't you build from the same building blocks that you're consuming from? Like, if your eyes need to be repaired, it's going to sound weird, but what better thing could you eat besides eyeballs to repair that thing that you're trying to, that your body's trying to repair, like your eyes or your brain or your muscles? Like almost all bodybuilders are consuming muscle meats. So what I bring this up is because I think of eggs and salmon roe and these things like this for the women's reproductive system. Like, you're consuming life to be able to create life. That makes sense to me. That seems kind of obvious. You know what I mean?
It does seem obvious intuitively, and that was another thing your last talker was mentioning, and you commented on, was the concept of intuitive eating. And you had brought up, well, okay, yes, there's intuitive eating and feeling like what your body needs, but then there's also the aftermath, which is very, very important, and your judgment about that can be clouded based on what you have eaten. So you really have to kind of pay attention to that. But if I feel like my body needs a certain nutrient or whatever, like just for me, I didn't feel like I was craving meat necessarily. Like, I wouldn't say it was intuitive, like, oh, I've got to go out and have a piece of salmon. Like, that wasn't really actually how I felt. So, intuitive eating, that's some concept. I can't really say that it's true or untrue because some people are so easily deluded by their own mind and themselves. So whatever they think they're needing may not be actually what they need. But I didn't feel like I had to eat meat or salmon. I wasn't craving it. I was just getting so sick and something was so wrong. And I had tried everything within the vegan parameters of eating. But the only thing I hadn't tried was eating meat. And so it took me a long time to realize that. And then that is what I tried. And then, that's what made things better. But, intuitive eating, it's an interesting concept. But when you think about how easily it is for someone to delude themselves of anything, the concept of intuitive eating can be a little bit skewed depending on how in tune someone is with their own self. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like eventually you became intuitive by listening to your body not doing well on the vegan food, but it took you like 9 years to get there. But
Sorry.
And yeah, so I definitely agree with you.
Someone may feel like, well, intuitively, I'm listening to my body. I have to have a bag of chips right now. It's intuitive. I feel like I need this bag of chips.
Yeah.
Someone could call that, intuitive eating. Those are just like two words put together in the English language, intuitive eating. There's so much more to it than that, right? And
I'm going to start calling it feedback eating. You got to know how you feel after you eat it. That's more important than the intuitive part. How do you feel after you eat something?
Exactly. And like I said, sometimes your judgment about that is clouded based on what you've eaten. Because, like, I know, for example, like if I can't sleep, I will eat like a lot of bread so that I feel like a little bit more stupid and slow, because it slows me down. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but essentially, like, someone who's eating a lot of bread, let's say, for example, their judgment about something might be different because they may feel a little bit slower in some ways, and they're not able to figure out exactly how something's even affecting them because they don't have a crystallized perception of what's actually happening. So sometimes the aftermath of how someone feels, it can be kind of skewed in some ways. But, I felt compelled to call in because I just was like, I feel like I have something to share. I don't know how to share it, and I don't know if we'll do a proper stream at some time, but, I just, I listened to so many videos and people talking about this, and it seems so easy and so simple to just say that balance is key. But for some people that so attached to certain things, it's difficult to see it that way,
Yeah, I guess
I certainly don't have all the answers.
It's kind of like the word intuitive eating. Balance also has no intrinsic meaning either. That's why, like, Carnival was in the chat just now, and he's saying balance doesn't really mean anything because what's balanced to me is different from balance from you. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with somebody thinking that their balance point is different than my balance point. As long as we're both like, yeah, I'm just listening to my body and doing what makes me feel and respond the best, and then you're doing what you need to do to make you feel and respond the best, rather than
Well, so the way we communicate are through words in the English language, and so balance is a word that includes so many other things. But balance is a word, if you could, have a facsimile of everything that's actually happening in my brain right now, and I could describe it all to you, it may feel very different. There's only so much we can do in a short call like this, but balance. Okay, what does balance mean? I go on and on about it, but I don't want to, make this stream like 10 hours long. So yeah, these are just, the language that I'm using. These are just, the building blocks or the comprehensive units of understanding that we use to communicate. So yeah, the word balance, what does it mean? There's so many things to it, but essentially the main point is to not subscribe to one way of doing something and to be completely open. Because if you remember, the first thing that I said when we began this call is that there are some people that are extremely happy, that are going about their lives in great health, that have never even thought about this like vegan or carnivore diet, that they just feel this way. And ultimately, I have a moral obligation to achieve happiness in this lifetime. That's how I feel. I mean, health is incredibly important too, but I mean, happiness is the most important thing.
Right. And we just all have slightly different paths to getting there, especially men, women, depending on age, culture. We have all these different ideas of what that could take, but I'm down with people doing it as long as they're basically not hurting other people while they're doing it. And I feel like, unfortunately, animals got to go in the case of reaching optimal health, which is a part of that happiness equation. So I think we're in agreement there.
Yes, I think we all do.
So let's end it here with you, Brighton. I appreciate you calling in, and yeah, I think we'll have to do a proper stream, interview style soon in the future.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Sounds
If you're open
good.
to putting your face out there on the internet, I know how hard it is when you got a business to run and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out if it's meant
All right.
to be.
Sounds good.
All
I'll talk to you
take
later.
care. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes. Long-time friend of the channel, Brighton Fuller. I'm proud to say I think I found Brighton's channel when she had like 20 subscribers or less. I was like, when I was captivated by her story the first couple of days she was posting. Here we go. We got another caller. Aha. Oh no, I'm screwing this person over again too. So what's happening is if I don't answer within like 1 second, I know what's going on here. It's forwarding it to my phone. Okay. Sorry, whoever that was. You got to call back. I've stopped the transfer to my phone. We'll wait for them to call back. Hopefully they do. Guys, we're taking live calls. Talk about what... Oh, Lester. Yeah, call it back again, Lester. Sorry. It's... Yeah, perfect. I'll wait for Lester. I'll hold back on the number for now. Man, who was that Hannah ASMR person? What was her deal? She got all upset? I want to read what she said, though. Hold on 1 second. Unhide. Oh. Anyway, whatever.
Call from.
Really organic.
Oh.
To accept, press 1. To
You
send
got
voicemail,
swooped.
Press 2.
By the way, Shamansplaining, thank you for the
To accept, press 1.
$2
To
and the
send a voicemail,
$5.
Press 2.
Really organic. You're talking to Drew. What's going on?
Hey, Drew. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. I love how all of your voices just sound exactly the same as the YouTube channel, which I would expect. But anyway, what are you calling in today for? What should we talk about?
Well, I think we should try to help get some progress on the great salt debate. I am again going back and forth on salt, Drew. I've had another hiccup. I thought I figured it out. I read the vitamin D cure because my vitamin D level is low, and he said you have to stop all salt. I'm like, oh my God, I was high salt. That's why I haven't been uptaking vitamin D. Sure enough, I've been no salt for days, and then I got really, really dizzy the other night. Ate some salt, felt fine since.
Okay, so what do you think that's telling you at this point? I'm just trying to follow along because I'm gonna be flat out here. I don't know much about the great salt debate. I'm gonna be upfront about this. Me personally, the only time I've ever talked about salt was when I'm fasting. I do notice that it does help, and I specifically said there's a dizziness associated with 1 meal a day. And if I don't eat salt if I'm doing OMAD, I need to have salt in the afternoon, but I was sort of equating it to coffee because I've noticed that if I don't drink caffeine, I can go longer into the fast and I don't have the dizziness, if that helps you out.
Really? Okay, that's really interesting because I'm no coffee right now. I'm not doing any caffeine.
Okay.
But the salt, I was doing kind of heavy salt because if you read the book, The Salt Fix by Dr. Nicol Antonio, he says, we need to be eating like 4,000 milligrams a day. And I just listened to Dr. Berg, and he's like, yeah, you got to be eating 3,000 milligrams a day. And I get there, and as I'm putting the salt in my food, I'm like, where would we, if we were living wild, where would we be getting this salt to put in our food?
I've thought about that too.
Well, and my other thought about it is, is our soil so depleted? Because we've depleted our soil. Would there be more salt naturally in the soil so we wouldn't need to add it? So, I mean, I'm straight up confused. It seems wrong to add the salt, but I literally, thank you for saying that about the OMAD, because I started getting dizzy the other night. I'm like, what the heck, man? I've had this before, but I don't know what the issue is, and I just happened to be listening to my playlist. Dr. Berg comes on talking about salt deficiency. I'm like, so I add salt to my food and the dizziness went away. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm confused. What's the chat saying right now?
They don't know what to think. They're talking about the soil. But what I want to ask is, are you fasting right now? Is it associated with the fasting or
Nope.
not? No,
not
fasting.
at all. I know. I'm not fasting at all right now. Nope. Normal eating 2 to 3 meals a day, normal standard everything. And I went probably 4 days where I was doing pretty low salt, just trying to phase it out and figure out how to taste food again and like it without salt. And then I got dizzy and I'm like, crap, man, I really want to. But then I get this comment from VegSource telling me that my vitamin D level is fine at 30. Well, 30 is the bottom of the range, and
Well, vegans, they like to make up their new ranges. So
thank you.
Yeah, and I guess the carnivores do it too. So.
Yeah, okay, right. Everyone does. So I'm trying to figure out, I mean, I don't feel better taking vitamin D. Like, I work hard to get in the sun, but my level's at the bottom of the range, you know what I mean? I mean, I live in the north, and I supplement, so I thought I'd figured out the cure. I thought I was eating too much salt, and I was going to get my vitamin D level up, but I don't want to be dizzy. That doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, I think that there may be, the only thing that are coming to mind is maybe an adaptation period, and also maybe... hydration could be another factor, either too much or too little with the dizziness. Right.
It's been hot, really hot, and I had just gotten back from going for a walk too, and I probably hadn't had enough. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna try the no salt again, Drew. I'm going down on the salt. I want to get my vitamin D level up. What do you know about vitamin D level? Is 30 good, or is VegSource crazy?
I don't know shit about vitamin D. That's like doctor level stuff. I had one guy that was DMing me a while ago. This hockey player guy, I don't know if he's still watching my channel, but he was like actually a pretty big hockey player Instagrammer, dude. Actually ex-professional, and he was struggling to get his. He was severely tired, basically, like just severe fatigue all the time, and it hit me. Like, as I was out walking, because I was going for daily walks at the time with my shirt off, and I was just getting tons of sun, and I just feel so good when I'm out there in the sun. And I was like, dude, maybe it's vitamin D. And he was Canadian, and he's from the north. So I was like, maybe it's a vitamin D thing. And he's like, dude, he immediately went to the doctor, and I never got an update on it. So I don't know. I could have been right, but I don't know. He hasn't hit me back on it.
I bet you were right. I mean, hockey's big in the north. Most hockey players are Canadian. Vegetable Police has really low vitamin D levels and really high mercury levels, too. That's a whole other issue. I guess mercury can block vitamin D, too. It's also intertwined so much. This health it's all such a mystery. I do want to tell you, though, before we're done, I love what you're doing on your channel. You are bringing the communities together. You have the most controversial people that you're beefing with on the channel, and everything turns out great. I'm really impressed with what you're doing. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And I'm going to be pissed if the corporate world takes you away.
Yeah, I can't make any promises right now. I'm going to still try and do at least one stream minimum per week.
Good.
And it's going to be, I love doing these sort of solo / now we're doing the calls, like, because, there's only so many people to interview that are even worth talking to on YouTube anymore. So, Vegetable Police won't come on, your buddy over there. And so
he's sick. I mean, have you seen his video that came out yesterday? He's like, the vegan diet's killing me. I might go back carnivore. I
did see that, but I got halfway through it and he didn't get to the point. So I was assuming it was clickbait and I just gave up.
I got halfway through and I was so worried about him. I stopped painting my utility closet, rinsed the paint off my hand, and went over and could leave a long comment. I'm really worried about him. I mean, I think he's honestly got something weird going on, like his mom's apartment's moldy, because he's gone so downhill since he got back from Thailand. I'm like, is he got mold or some kind of other issue going on? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that once he gets it together, he might come on. I mean, if he said he would, he probably would, but he doesn't feel good. He's not doing well at all. He's peeing all night long, and he's a mess.
I feel for him. I mean, he has real health concerns, and I think that the YouTube, peanut gallery gets a joy out of seeing him go back and forth and flip-flop and blood coming out of his butt. It's a real good entertainment, but I mean, if this guy drops dead in front of us, people are gonna rethink the hate they've given him. You know.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone's giving him hate. He's just trying to figure it out. What about Homegrown Big? Did you ever get a hold of him? He's great.
I have not hit him up yet, but I will get him on perhaps. I've just had this like slew of people contacting me to come on the show for so long that I was like, now I'm into the thing where I'm actually reaching out to other people and trying to get them on. So and again,
well,
of course,
you know
today
what? Do the easiest thing. I mean, the easiest is always better. If people contact you, just go with that. That's great for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and thanks for all of your continued support. And I'm glad you put your channel back up and whatnot. I don't think anybody's gonna find you wherever you're at in the wilderness or whatever you're scared of. So
it just gets freaky because all the stories from women. I mean, it just gets creepy and stuff. And there's not much to find. I ain't got anything here. We're not rich or anything. Like it's not that interesting. But man, people just get so mean online. You know, I think I've kind of moved away from some of like the vegan carnivore topics because that seems to get people riled up and seems to get them madder at me. So I just have moved away, and I'm talking about, you know, broccoli and stuff.
Trust me, having this close proximity to social media people, you know, Elise and others, people are weird out there, and I don't blame you at all for trying to get away from it. To be honest, unless you're making a living on it, not even worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even monetized yet, so I'm not making anywhere near a living. I mean, my goal is to make between like $300 and $500 a month from YouTube as like a little side whatever thing. That's what I want to get to. I don't want to be famous. I just want a little tiny bit from it. That's my plan.
I think you can do that.
Yeah, I'm heading there. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go turn the volume back up and listen to the rest of your show.
All right, thanks for calling, and we'll talk to you later.
Peace. Bye.
Bye. All right. Really organic. We're just like getting all the hitters today. All the big time long term supporters of the channel calling in. Torsten says, "Yo, Drew, saw you commenting on a video by I don't even know what that means. Thoughts on his approach? He's been vegan, fruitarian, liquidarian for years, according to him. You're gonna have to tell me who that is." We got another caller.
Call from
Lester Hahn.
Big Lester. Big Lester, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a good idea to have this call in.
Yeah, man, this is fun, and there's so many people who like want to either get on the show or just like share something, you know, publicly with their voice on the show. I think this is a good medium to do it.
Sure, definitely, especially for a channel like mine with 54 subscribers in 8 years, you know. But
yeah, Lester Hahn, guys, beast. Go check out his channel. He comments in here all the time, and I'm sure we'll get you a plug. If you post your channel link after we talk, by the way, I'll definitely push it through.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I thought about maybe adding some other videos where I actually talk instead of just lifting weights, but I did want to call to just talk about my vegan experience, which was pretty interesting, especially trying to use it while prepping for a competition.
Yeah, give us like some more context to the situation, like where you were at physically before trying it, what made you want to do it in the first place, and then what happened once you went there.
Well, I think it was kind of just a health kick thing. I was probably watching some of those documentaries on TV, and I'm like, well, seems like these guys can do this. So I'm like, I'll give it a try. But I knew that, you know, people are saying, oh, you'll need 60 grams of protein a day, and I knew that was garbage, especially for someone who lifts. So I kind of did some research, and what I kind of came up with a diet was where I was eating about 270 grams of protein a day, and that did have some vegan protein powders in it. But also, too, I was looking at, you know, leucine is the basically starts your muscle protein synthesis. So some people are saying in research that really leucine is kind of the big thing. So I actually was also supplementing that with my meals to make sure I kind of covered all my bases. But the tricky part was, you know, on paper it looked good, but, you know, I was doing things like at first, like 2 cans of beans a day. I mean, that was really rough.
Yeah, that's never going to digest well. And the more calories you're eating, like the worse the vegan diet does digestion wise. That's why I think these really skinny people, they're like, yeah, I'm fine. My digestion's good. It's like, yeah, because you're eating 1,600 calories a day.
Yeah, and I was eating probably close to 5,000 at the time on that diet. And it was horrible. I mean, I was hitting the toilet, just so much gas. It was just the worst possible experience.
Yeah. Okay.
For me that way. And then in the end, at first it was okay. But as I kept progressing towards my meet, which I think, I'm trying to remember where it was in the process, because I was total vegan for about 7 months, but I think I eventually started prepping for a meet and I was maybe about 20 weeks out or so. And it just, the strength wasn't there anymore, so theoretically on paper, hey, I'm getting enough protein supposedly, although that is light for me. Like right now I'm doing about 370 grams of protein a day, and I'm actually just bumped it up today to 450 because I just wanted to try another experiment. But it's like, but still, I thought 270 would be good enough just based on the research that I saw. But yeah, I really, performance-wise, my strength went down completely on all three of the lifts, the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. So when people are saying, oh, you can gain a bunch of strength and mass, I think the big thing what's happening is most people, they're novices. So really you can do anything and get stronger. So like, oh, I went on this diet, I started lifting, oh, my squat went up, my bench went up. But when you've already got 8-9 years in on these lifts and you're like eking out gains where you're lucky if you gain 10 pounds in a year on a lift or something, it's definitely a performance thing where I noticed it being a problem.
I totally agree with you, and I can speak for myself here. I would still consider myself like novice to intermediate level when I went into veganism. I've been lifting for a number of years, but never like really strung enough time together to really get like a solid big physique or anything like that. But I was definitely to the point where I was like grinding out from week to week, workout to workout, being able to add any weight at all, like struggling for that extra rep, struggling for that extra 5 pounds type of thing. And when I did go vegan, I mean, I immediately lost strength and I never got it back. Even when I was eating like as much protein as I could without protein powder. So I was focusing on like soy milk, beans. I was getting maybe 60, 80 grams a day, which is nothing for a 150 something pound guy. And all my lifts were going down the whole time.
Yeah, and actually, just kind of interesting, I saw something in the chat about Patrick Baboumian, and I know this guy was just joking, but, you look at him, he was never like a top World's Strongest Man competitor. I think one year he made just the first heat for World's Strongest Man, but he was like in 10th place. He didn't even get one rep on the Viking press. But I mean, still, he's a really strong guy.
For sure.
But
yeah.
you look now, like last year, he was competing in strength wars. And if he said he had an 800-pound deadlift at one time, now he's struggling for like 600, it seems like. So, I mean, I think his strength levels have gone down too, compared to where he was years ago, even as a vegetarian.
Yeah, and he made a response video. I don't know if you caught that. He made a response video to Oberst.
Yeah, I did see that, and that's where he claimed the 800-pound deadlift. But I'd like to see him do that now because, like I said, last year, it's a German show. It's called Strength Wars. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a mix of like strongman meets CrossFit.
I've seen it. It's very cool.
Yeah, and he would compete in that. And he's actually, like I said, he's a good competitor, so I have nothing against him. But his strength levels were not that high. And really, Oberst isn't a number one competitor either, but he has made the final at World's Strongest Man. So overall, he's still a stronger guy.
Exactly. I'd like you to just perhaps explain a little bit more about that, because the criticism that Baboumian was giving Robert Oberst, he's like, well, I've won several shows and you have never won a World's Strongest Man, so you're not even on my level. Like I've placed number one, but the level of competition and the overall relative strength is not even comparable. I mean, Robert Oberst is stronger on his worst day as a last place World's Strongest Man competitor than Baboumian on his best day in whatever competition he did at a local show in Germany.
Correct. Yeah, in a local show, of course, he's going to dominate it because, like you said, he is pretty strong, compared to like an amateur strongman. And he did get his pro card. So, I mean, like you said, he does have a certain level of strength. But, he's not, I think being as short as he is, he probably would have to be in that below 231 class because there's 2 weight classes in strongman.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as a heavyweight, he's going against guys that are 6'6", 400 pounds. It's hard to, compete against them. But I think he does hold one world record in, it's one of the walking events. So he does hold a record, but in a competition, let's say there's 6 events or something. Overall, he's not going to beat Robert in a lot of those. Like he's going to place lower, especially in the pressing strength. Like I said, I think I saw him do the Viking press. He didn't even get 1 rep one time. But again, that's that World's Strongest Man caliber, so the weights are that much higher. And at a local show, the weights are typically lighter too.
And I mean, there's the other X factor too. I mean, I think he's even self-admittedly talked about taking performance-enhancing drugs in the past. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure like at the highest levels, the difference between 250 and 400 grams of protein on a proper steroid cycle is going to be a difference. But I mean, if you're just an average guy, let's say you're like a regular dude in the gym and you're taking steroids and you're vegan, of course you're going to look amazing compared to the average guy, even compared to the average meat eater, because you're enhanced.
Sure,
So like
yeah,
veganism is more than capable with the help of drugs to get at least a moderate to high-end physique level. But I mean, when we're talking about the highest of the high end, there's no comparison.
Sure, and then it's just genetics too, because like if you ever look up, I think it's Clarence Kennedy. He was an Olympic lifter, but he hasn't been lifting probably because of the drug use. He gets popped, but he's super strong for a vegan as well. So a lot of it's just genetics too.
Short-term vegan though. He's only been vegan for like a few years. I've done research on him.
Sure, yeah. But the big thing is that, it's always an apples and oranges comparison between people. But if you took that same person and put them on an animal-based diet with the same drugs, the same everything, but just the diet change, they would perform better, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you. That's always something that's left out is like, okay, how would they do compared to themselves? Like just because Patrick Baboumian is stronger than me doesn't mean he wouldn't do better on animal foods. To our knowledge, there's nobody who's performed better after going vegan than they were when they were on animal foods, to my knowledge. So
yeah, at least to my knowledge too. And like I said, a lot of them get injured. Also, too, the Kendrick Ferris. I mean, he did worse at a higher weight class, and now I think he's just injured and out. Again, he good lifter for an American lifter, because those guys are drug tested so heavily that I honestly believe he would be natural, because they do out of contest testing. Like they'll come to your house and be like, just pee in this cup. But his performance went down, even going up in body weight. So it's like that kind of tells you something there too. Normally, if you go up a weight class, you're going to be. It's harder because those guys, you're moving to the next weight class up, and then those guys are that much stronger.
Yeah, but I mean, they should at least be stronger relative to themselves at the lower weight class. But yeah, of course, the competition gets stiffer. But it's like, why'd your lift go down when you got heavier? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, and that's where I think it'd be the diet. You know what I mean? Is where I would think that that's the issue there.
I guess age too, 4 years between Olympics. I mean, who knows what happened in his personal life? I think he competed in 2 Olympics. So a third one's always rough. I mean, even Phelps probably wasn't performing his best in his third Olympics or whatever. But,
sure.
Definitely. I'm with that. Anything else you wanted to throw down today?
No, I think that was just the main thing, just to kind of let everyone in on that vegan experience. That it didn't work the best for me, and it was definitely, if you want to go to the bathroom a lot, it's a good diet.
I mean, yeah, guys, just to recap what Lester brought up, vegan 7 months or so. He was eating 250 grams plus of protein a day, and he's a very strong lifter. You guys can go see him on his channel. He was losing strength. So if you're losing strength at a high level with 250 grams of plant protein a day, which damn well you guys out there aren't eating that much, then, I mean, how can you really deny that? How can you argue that? This guy knows what he's doing. So, and one more note about the genetics. Tim Sheaf, man, that guy's got supreme genetics as far as physique aesthetics goes, in my opinion, and also just like bodily strength and things like that. Even while he was fasting, he had a good physique. I mean, he was like 140 pounds, like his face was sucked out, but the guy still had thick abs, built shoulders, built back. He could still do probably 20 pull-ups in a row, no problem. I mean, he's just got a different physique than the average person, So anyway.
Definitely. Yeah. Genetics are a big thing for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for the call, Lester, and hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. See ya.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Alrighty, guys. Lester Hahn. Hopefully he posts his channel. I hope you guys go check out his content if you guys want to see a big, strong dude and he can validate himself with those videos. We don't really see too many vegans pulling off strength like Lester has done. That's for damn sure. Whether you're natural or not, veganism is typically not going to get you there. Maja Larson says 200 grams of plant protein probably just goes right through you mostly. That was my experience with it. That's for sure. I never got up to 200 grams of plant protein. I was getting like 150, 160. That was a huge struggle. In order to do that, I was drinking 2 to 3 cups of soy milk a day, 2 protein smoothies a day, usually a can of beans for dinner, and I was doing chia seeds and oats and peanut butter in the morning. So harsh on the digestion, 3 meals a day. Now I eat 2 meals a day, and I easily get over 150, 160 grams of protein. I'm not saying that I couldn't use more, but I'm already growing. I already picked up a couple pounds just from going to the gym for like a week and a half. I already feel like the strength coming back. My body's recovering very quickly, very well. I'm very happy with it. 2 meals a day, get your animal foods in, you're good to go. I'm not even that strict about being carnivore or anything like that right now. Shamansplaining wants to call in. All right, make sure you dial it. It's 714-922-0637. Milanchex says, what do you eat now? I eat at least 1 meal a day is typically pure carnivore style. So I'll do like a pound of steak with a huge glass of milk. That's usually my lunch every day. And then for dinner, I'm a little more relaxed. I might go out with friends. I might have tacos. If beans and rice are there and I don't have enough, what do you call it? If I don't have enough protein to fill it out, then I'll get beans and rice. Taking the next call.
Call from.
Shamansplaining.
To accept, press 1.
Shamansplaining. You're talking to Drew. Can you hear me?
Hey, Drew. Hey, man. Hey,
how's it going?
How's it going today?
Great. Thanks for all the support. The donations, by the way, today in the chat. Very much
Awesome.
appreciated.
Of course. No problem, Drew. Love supporting you. Love your content, man. Loved it since I found you. Ended up just seeing you on a comment section on some vegan video several months ago, and we interacted, and I was just like, check out this dude's channel, and loved it. But the reason I'm calling in is, so I've actually been, the last few years, going through some health protocols to be healthier. What is it? 3 years ago? Are you still there, Drew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure. So 3 years ago, my mom had died. I was very fit at the time. I was very muscular, and I weighed 200 pounds, 6'2", a little bit of fat to lose, not much. She passed away. I ended up depressed and working a office job and eating shit food, fast food all the time, never working out, and got up to 285 in several months. So then just, I was so sick of it. I'm like, I'm not going up above 300. I cannot ever do that in my life. So I got it all under control, ended up finding the snake diet. So I got on the snake diet about 2 years ago, maybe 20 months ago, and went on a great path down. I got down to like 185 in 5 months. So that's 100 pounds in 5 months.
Wow. And what was the exact protocol you're doing? Because I know that Snake Diet guy has like the 500 calorie refeeds and the snake juice. What were you doing?
So at the time, what I was doing is basically I would just, I worked at Pepsi at the time as a merchandiser and then a sales rep. So it's very physical. I don't know if you know what merchandisers do, but they throw pop on the shelf and pull pallets of pop around all day.
Yep, seen those guys a million. Yep, seen those guys for sure.
Exactly. And so I had done some fasting for a couple months before I had got that job. I basically I was just working myself into it. I'd do 48-hour fasts, and, just go to the gym a little bit here and there, just trying to get my body back to equilibrium and my brain back to equilibrium from the depression I was in. And basically, and then last year I ended up hitting another depression low about my mom around the time that her death happened, and got back up to like 255 by this February, and now I don't. My weight scale says I'm 230. So basically, yeah. At first, I would do 20 or 24, 48 mostly. Then when I first started working at Pepsi, I did a 5-day fast. Lost a crap load of weight that week on my first week at Pepsi.
Were people freaking out, like people that you worked with? Were they just like one day they'd come into the office and then the next week they'd see you like 30 pounds lighter? I mean, what was the reaction?
No, sorry. That was I know I lost like 5 or 10 pounds that week. That was back in 2017 again, or 17. So basic, and I that was the biggest fast I had ever done. And then last year when I got depressed again, I stopped working, and I've been living with my dad since a little bit before my mom died, and so just being here, I just decided to take care of my body. I did a dry fast. I really wanted to start doing dry fasting, and I had done some like 24, 48, or no, 24 and 36 at that point. And then I was like, you know what? I want to go for 7 days. So I just stayed at home for 6.25 days. I did 6.25 days before I felt my body telling me, break this fucking fast, dude. Like, I didn't feel like I was going to die. I had way too much fat.
We're losing you just a little bit on the phone. I don't know if that's a reception thing, but I also did want to ask you too, are you saying 6.25 day dry fast, or was that a water fast?
That was a 6.25 day dry fast, yeah.
You're a monster. Okay.
Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, I think it was just the chair I was sitting in. So, yeah, a 6.25 day dry fast. And when you fast a lot and do long fasts, it can bring up emotions in you that you were experiencing when, like, say you were eating your depression away. Well, it doesn't just eat the depression away, it stuffs it away into your body, in my opinion, in my experience and other people's experiences. And this sent me into a slightly deeper depression than I was before I started the dry fast. And I ended up getting addicted to World of Warcraft again. I am a World of Warcraft addict since I was like 11 years old. And I did that till about 20 before I really stopped playing. And now I'm 25. And so this was, last year I got back addicted to it for about 6 months. Was sitting at my house for 12 to 18 hours a day, eating crap food and playing WoW. And it was the stupidest thing. But it was also really cool because I learned so much afterwards. So I atrophied. My muscles atrophied from it. I don't know how much I lost, but they were small. And then in February this year was when I was at 255 pounds again. I was getting pretty big again. And also it was more fat than muscle this time because of the less muscle. The muscle that I lost.
Yeah, you had like the reverse muscle body recomposition. You went from the muscle to fat. That's the worst case scenario.
Exactly. It was awful. It was pretty awful. Although I like my legs, I had huge tree trunk, giant muscly legs, and I feel like I like the size of them a bit better now. I do want to grow them some, but I don't want to go to where they were. So there's always, benefits and drawbacks to everything. So February 15th, I quit WoW this year, and I was like, all right, I got to get back to the snake diet. Got to get back. Started watching some videos, and he had just came out with a video about dry fasted snake cardio, where you do a short dry fast and then go walk around and sweat a little bit and just walk and chill, and lose fat and some water off of you. And so I was like, I'll try this out. So I did. The first time I did a 2-hour walk with all this muscle loss, I did a 2-hour walk, got home, came home, felt like I did a full body workout to failure on every muscle I could possibly have done.
Is that what he said to expect, or was that
no?
Unexpected?
I didn't talk to him about that. I didn't even I kind of know enough what I'm doing with training and all that. I wasn't surprised by it because since my muscles were so weak at the point, I wasn't surprised at all by it that my muscles got worked that much. And so from there, I didn't start fully doing like very long extended fast because I had heard that, excuse me, I just burped. I heard that in a situation like this where you lose muscle, your body has muscle memory, and it will want to grow your muscle back to where it could, or it used to be, as very quickly by starting to do the same work that you needed those muscles for. So I did just walking for a month, ate, not giant meals or nothing, but I wasn't perfect or anything at that point either. But I started losing fat. Then I started getting into the gym again. I got on the elliptical. I would go on the elliptical a bunch, and that actually boosted all the muscle in my upper body. So my arms came back a good amount. My chest did. My abs did. Quickly, in like a month time. They're not right all the way back to where they were, but like I said, they're way better than they were in February. And so now I've been just doing snake diet fasting. I'll do 24 hours and just eat like, similar to the either the 500 calorie meal a day and just work out a bunch, or work out less and do the 100 calorie meal OMAD that he just came out with. And those have been working a ton. I haven't really lifted much. I do some lifting here and there at the gym, but what I do, my main method right now for working out is I have a 20-pound weighted vest. I have a 5-pound ankle weight for each ankle, and I have 25 and 35-pound kettlebells. And I do farmer's walks, and I just walk with all this weight on my body. And it's been it accelerated everything like crazy. Muscle's been getting really lean and just looking great, nice and toned.
How much do you weigh now?
I weigh right now 230 pounds. And when I look at my picture, I cannot see myself as a 230-pound man. I believe that right now, I know that I've been living a lifestyle that does not, or that is higher in cortisol. I haven't been sleeping as much. I was doing a lot of caffeine for a while, which shouldn't have been doing. Was smoking cigarettes for a while, shouldn't have been doing. Just a lot of things that lead to high cortisol. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Drinking alcohol, crap like that, when I shouldn't have been doing that while doing this diet. But, like I said, I've just been trying to reach equilibrium again, and these things were helping me with it as I slowly reached my body and brain down back to equilibrium, so that I didn't have too large of a swing or something, And so now I'm 230. I've been 230 for 2 months, and I've been losing weight steadily. My pictures keep showing it. I believe that with the high cortisol lifestyle that I'm currently changing and fixing that, plus the salt water, I believe, has, in combination with the cortisol, of course. Not if I didn't have the cortisol, I wouldn't have this issue, but I have a lot of water. My body fat is filled with water. When I touch it, it doesn't feel like body fat. It feels like it's wet.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's the stuff that sits on my stomach as well. It's like cellulite, soft, juicy, sort of squishy fat.
Exactly.
Like a water balloon.
It's like a water balloon, exactly, yeah. So last year, I found another guy on YouTube who has done a lot of fasting and helps people clean their bodies out. His channel is called Zen Atman, Zenatman. He talks a lot about urine fasting and fruit juice fasting and distilled water fasting. And he talks about this. I don't know have you heard of Andrew Norton Weber?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'll leave a comment after the stream.
Okay.
Some information for everyone and you. So Andrew Norton Weber is who this guy Zen Ottman learned a lot from, and Andrew Norton Weber did a bunch of fasting with people on the distilled waters, the fruit juices, and the urine to clean people's bodies further. So his whole premise is that, so salt, like Himalayan sea salt, it's a rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a mineral. It's a inorganic mineral. It's just a rock. You know, it hasn't been combined with carbon, like say the sodium and potassium in an orange is combined with carbon by the plant to make it an organic mineral so that it can use it. And our bodies prefer organic minerals over inorganic minerals, and inorganic minerals like sodium chloride from pink Himalayan salt. This is just the premise. I don't believe this because I haven't experienced it. I'm just saying what the premise is of this whole protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something I'm going to experiment with. But basically, the salt gets, it mucks up your system. It dirties up your organs. It's like having dirt just deposited in your organs, and the distilled water dissolves it. So when you have a bunch of minerals dissolved in water like we normally do, the water is no longer distilled, and it has not the same electric charge as distilled water does, and so it normally mineral water like that, it's unable to pull these minerals out from your body because of that. But the distilled water supposedly
hang on.
pulls these minerals.
Why are you so into this stuff? What do you think it's going to do for you?
Into this specific protocol?
Yeah, I mean,
and
we were
why
talking
do
about
I want to experiment with it?
Yeah, we were talking about the squishy fat, right? And you're saying that you feel like the lifestyle you're living should bring you underneath of what you weigh right now, right? So you're like trying to take it to the next level kind of thing?
I think it will for sure. I just want to try both in combination. So Zen, that other YouTube guy that I told you about, he teaches people to clean their bodies out as much as possible in order for our vibration to rise and our consciousness is able to much easier escape the body and do astral projection. Have you heard, about astral projection?
I know about it. I haven't experienced it myself, but
okay.
Here's what before we go any deeper, what I want to say is, if we look at people who are almost demonstrably unhealthy, we can look at bodybuilders, right? Bodybuilders are kind of like they look healthy, they look amazing, but they're sort of classically unhealthy, right? In a lot of ways. Yeah. Now, these people are implementing dietary protocols and exercise in order to get themselves into the leanest, most shredded, stage-ready physiques that one could possibly imagine. And they're by all means dirty, probably in the eyes of the guy that you're talking about. So I guess I'm a little weary when I hear about this stuff, because I have also been down the juice fasting path, and it's like there's so much of this stuff, but when we really look at the evidence of who's doing what, the people who are the bodybuilders who are freaking unhealthy are getting lean as shit. So we shouldn't really need to move into all this other crazy stuff in order to get our body weight down if that's our goal. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
And I want to protect you from yourself here, because you've already said that you've gotten down to the 185 before and you didn't do this stuff. So why now do you need to do the extra level, the extra step? I mean, you're still, what you say, 25 years old?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're still young, you're 6'2", like, I mean, it's going to probably come down to diet and exercise. And I know that people don't want to people don't want to think it's that simple, but as long as your hormones are in good shape, which in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, you know, the astral projection and the salt probably doesn't have a lot to do with your hormone balance. You know, because like, for instance, Megan Elizabeth, I think you probably saw that episode that I had with her. I lived with her in Hawaii. She was a raw vegan for a long time. She messed her hormones all up. And even though I physically watched that girl eat 1,600 calories a day, which should have been more than enough for her to lose body weight and body fat, and she was working out, she wasn't losing fat. And she had the little squishy fat on her. And now, since she's gone back to animal foods, she's straightened her hormones out. And even though she's eating about the same amount of calories a day, maybe even more, she's now getting into a much more lean, shredded physique based on the type of food she's eating, because her hormones were out of whack. Now, as long as your hormones are okay, you probably shouldn't need to go down this spiral vortex of fasting and salt understanding and that type of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I really exhaust all the basic fundamentals you can first before you go down that road.
Okay. See, this is why I wanted to talk with you about it and just get your opinion on it all. You know, like, I don't like to do things just out of the blue or nothing, you know, but it's also the reason I do want to experiment with some of this, maybe not so much the juice, you know, I don't know. I'll figure it out over time by talking to people and just learning more about it before I really start going head first. But it's not so much that I want to utilize that method to get rid of all the fat and the fatty water, and, you know, it's more to just clean out the body, you know, clean out fluoride from my body, clean out anything that's not supposed to be there. That I've heard
you've heard me talk about the juice fasting, right? You've heard me talking about the juice fasting, right?
Yes.
And that's part of the dark vortex that I went down, the John Rose fasting protocol, the juice fasting protocol, because he's promising everybody and their mother that, hey, if you're 20 or 30 years old, you've been eating all this crap food your whole life, and you've got this serpent in your belly, and if you fast long enough, you're going to literally shit out a black rubbery rope from your intestines, and it's going to come out in pieces, and it's going to smell horrible, and he calls it the serpent coming out of your stomach. And man, I shit every day for 30 days on the juice fast, and I didn't ever see no serpent come out. And all the people in his little channel will say is, well, you didn't do it long enough. And it's just really weird to me. Like, he said it took him 93 days. You know what I mean? But that's a long time to be putting your body at a potential disadvantage in terms of health in order to get this thing out of you that isn't even in existence on the scientific books. I mean, there's surgeons out there that say that this stuff doesn't even exist, and they make videos about that on YouTube and stuff like that. And once you get into the astral projection stuff, it gets even a little bit more complex, because who's to say? I've seen crazy stuff, and I want to share with you. Like, I've seen personally crazy stuff. I've seen orbs of light, and trust me, I am a skeptic as hell, but I have literally seen orbs of light appear and explode in my own backyard. Two of my friends were there. They heard it. They didn't see it. I saw the light, but we all heard it. I've seen crazy shit. I've taken pictures of my friends. And if you're watching the stream right now, I'm going to show a picture. I'm going to show a picture on the stream just for everybody. Just so you know, you guys, I play with the woo-woo shit too, okay? But you know what? Don't let it take you over, because this stuff can just freaking suck you down the darkest rabbit hole. I hope you're watching the screen right now. They're shaman-splaining. But this is a picture of my buddy Chris from high school. Hold on, I hope it focuses. Okay. See what's in his hands right there?
I cannot see it.
Hopefully
what the fuck?
See that?
Yeah.
So this is a photo I personally took in high school. Okay? Black and white photo. I inverted the colors in Paint, in MS Paint, and I didn't touch anything else on it. And I have the original regular photo too. It's right next to it. It's black and white. See? I scanned that. Like back in the day when you had to scan shit. because I did this in high school. So that photo is like 15 years old or something like that. But anyway, we were playing around with Cyballs back in the day. And I told him to make a Cyball for photo class. And I took that photo with a 35 millimeter camera. I exposed it, and I looked at it through the little glass, on the photo background thing, the photo table, the light table, and I couldn't believe what I saw. So I just want to say, like, trust me, I get it, but the practicality of this stuff is not as much as people would hope it to believe. Like, so he can make a ball of energy in his hand and we can take a picture of it. Who cares? You know what I mean? So you can cleanse your body out a little bit. But again, who cares? Is that going to make you healthier? Is it going to make you lose weight? Is it going to overall improve your life? I don't know, man. And I want you to keep your wits about you when you're playing around with this stuff. You still there, bud?
I sure will. Yeah, I sure will, dude. I appreciate it all, and I'll continue talking about this with you. I would love to continue. I don't want to take up your whole stream, obviously.
Well, it was an interesting call, but we can definitely let this go for now. But I appreciate the support and I appreciate the call, and I'll probably take one more after this. But this is a lesson that this is just like my opinion on this stuff for everybody out there who's wondering, like, where I really stand on that stuff. But I have some experience with it, and it's very like intoxicating. You know what I mean? Like, especially the people who are telling you all this stuff. It's almost like a salesman over-promising what the results will be, how you're going to feel. Being vegan for 4.5 years, I mean, we're all promised all the same type of stuff. It's going to cleanse your body. What do you know? It's going to do this. It's going to cleanse your pineal gland. It's going to make you more in touch with your spiritual side. But like you said about the dry fasting, you do have these emotions come up. And honestly, I think it's because your body is so sick. It's literally getting closer to death. And it's almost in like this pre-death preparation stage. And that's why you become so self-aware mentally, because your body's just shutting down. It's like, yeah, you better become at peace with, the other side, because you're heading there, and you don't want to head there.
Right.
And just think of the bodybuilders. Think of the bodybuilders, think of like I said, these guys are eating crazy shit and they're down to 4.5% body fat. So it can't be the sickness that's keeping you from losing the weight, right? Like, just from an objective standpoint, we got to remember that.
Absolutely. Hey,
right.
Brother Drew, you're fucking awesome, dude. I love you, man, and I appreciate everything you do for us.
Hey, dude, thank you. I appreciate the support once again. Thanks for calling.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Talk to you later,
easy.
Drew. Bye.
So our boy Shamansplaining, thank you for the call, my man. Let's see. We're going on about 2:20. I think we might take one more quick call. What do you guys say? Should we do one more? Yeah, I thank Shamansplaining for sharing his story. It's very, like, I could, there's not tears in my eyes, but there's this feeling that I get when I really, like, feel somebody's, their essence, or their, when they explain something with emotion, like, I can feel that shit. And I can feel that, and there's so much, like, emotion from that guy, He had the mom passing away 3 years ago and stuff like that. And it's like, these things, it can really, one thing leads to the next, man. One thing that leads to the next. Myself, I went vegan the year that my grandfather died. It was the first, like, major person in my family that passed away that was really close to me. And then I got sick that year, and, boom, one thing after another. 6 months later, I'm vegan, And these things, they just, you're more susceptible to certain messages at different times in your life. Like I said, if you're sick, you're going to be interested in the healing message. If you're seeking spirituality, you're going to be interested in the astral projection message. Maybe there's something else out there. Maybe I can connect to this person telepathically. Maybe I can connect to the spirit world. You know what I mean? You got to you got to rope it back in, and you got to be really honest with yourself and say, where am I right now? And why is this sounding so special to me? And hey, man, if you want to try something, go for it. Lord knows that I did with certain different little things, but go into it with your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? Don't, like, just yeah, take me, like, because you will placebo the fuck out of yourself and you'll make it happen in your own mind. Go into these things as a skeptic, and that way you can maintain at least a toe on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Torsten says, the liquidarian dude I mentioned is called Taylor Budd. His channel is The Dark Lighthouse. He preaches fasting and breathing exercises. Saw your comment under a video of his. Taylor Budd. Let me refresh myself. I'm sorry. There's so many people and so many names, channel names. I get... Oh, I think I know who this guy is. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Dude, I remember this guy. Oh, yeah, I 100% remember this guy. What about this guy? Dude, he's got the vegan face now, bro. Fuck, man. Look at this. He looks like a caveman vegan now, dude. Poor guy. Check it out. Got a kind of hot little girlfriend, though. He's got the... I don't know if he's still vegan, but he's kind of got the eyes going on there. Have you watched part 3 of Bobby's series on the vegan TWAT? Shamansplaining says, I actually saw my mom's spirit the other day. She was communicating to me things only my mom could know and that I didn't know. She told me I'm a shaman. Hey, man, maybe you are. I'm not saying that you're not. That's for damn sure. I don't know everything. Like I said, I've seen things I can't explain, right? So you know I'm coming at this from just as balanced of a perspective as I can. I've seen stuff too, man. I've seen shit. All right? So it's not like I'm just immediately anti. You know what I'm saying? I'm not immediately anti on any of this stuff. It's just that from a practicality standpoint, how much can you get out of it, you know? Jack Hunter says he's trolling you, son. I don't know, dude. Let's see. Should we grab anybody else? We got some comments here. Should we grab anybody else here today, guys? I'm going to throw the number out one last time. If you're hoping to jump on the show today, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this type of thing again. So we've got still about 90 to 100 people in the chat. We'll keep it live for one more call. It's 714-922-0637. Let's get a quick call in, and then I'm going to shut the show down with my last little out wrap. Sicilian says, I can resume super quickly for you to experience astral projection super really easily without having to do almost anything. Where can I write to you? There you go. Find the experts, man. Maybe Sicilian's got some information for you. We can tie you guys together. Taking one last call, guys. 714-922-0637. Spammer. I don't think that guy's trolling, man. What is astro projection? It's astral projection. And it's like having an out-of-body experience where you can basically be like in a dream state, but you can be in other locations or see and understand things. Maybe like telepathic type of thing. Uh-oh, Siri heard that one. That's scary. Do you have any experience with that, Lester? Ooh. Astral projection, when you get your spirit to leave your body and can retain your consciousness. Yeah, it's kind of like a lucid dream, but it's like actual reality, not just dream reality. Lester's got no experience. Lester, by the way, I'm going to hit the gym after this. I'm starving, though, man. I've got to do it, man. I've got to do it. I'm going to get the gym in. I'm going to hit the 3 big ones. And then do my little stuff afterwards. reverse delt flies, incline press, all the BS, you know. Overhead press, deadlifts, squat, in that order. Then I move to the bench press. And then I do some incline, curls, reverse shoulder flies, triceps. I just keep weaving all them in together as it becomes available to me. Lester used to fly for a living. The fluff and pump, baby. I'm really, so Lester, I of course I don't have any reservations about switching over to animal foods, but I am curious about if I was only focused on lifting and I was focused on doing body work, full body workouts like I am now, and lifting heavy with an emphasis on heavy, how I would have gained as a vegan. Of course, my digestion would have been crap, but I'm wondering if my muscle would have been able to flourish, because now I'm eating like only 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day, which is much less calories than I was eating as a vegan, but I'm getting a much higher percentage of protein as a result, in relation to those calories. So I'm still getting like 150 to 200 grams of protein a day, animal foods. Seems to be good enough. Seems to be good enough to get the muscles coming, I'm already getting the sweep going. My arms are back. The sweep, man. This is what I was missing as a calisthenics guy. The little sweep down here. It was just flat, and I've always had that sweep from the gym, and I could never get it from calisthenics. Do your lifts on the astral plane. Alina la cochina. Thank you, Alina. You dirty girl. I think you would grow a bit on a good vegan diet, but just not as good. Arms looking great. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right, one last time I'm throwing out the number, and then I'm going to shut down the phone line. 714-922-0637. I'm going to give it another 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds to call in. Otherwise, I'm shutting down the phone lines, and then we are going to just move into the casual outflow. Ooh. You see? Let's see who we got.
Call from Newly Awakened.
Is it Millie?
Hey, Newly.
What? Say it
Newly
again?
Awakened.
Oh, newly awakened. Got you. How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Drew. It's going good. Yeah, I wanted to talk about how you had mentioned Megan Elizabeth, like cutting calories as a vegan and exercising and not losing any weight.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, same thing happened to me, and I'm like mega overweight, so I should have been able to lose weight like crazy. And I it's all set to private now, but when I was vegan for about 5 years. I documented quite a bit. I was really following the Raw Till 4, basically
Same.
just trying to see if the claims were true or not, especially for like weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I started biking, and I was biking 10 miles a day, 20 miles a day, back-to-back 20s, and for somebody like me that's middle-aged, easily could lose 80 pounds. I did not lose a single pound the entire summer, and I was eating way less calories as a vegan than I ever did, like following a keto diet where I was able to easily lose weight. And I just totally can relate to that. It did not work.
Yeah, I don't know from let's say like a scientific or doctor standpoint what that effect is. I just know that what the result is, and you experienced it yourself.
And, oh, yeah. And the whole Raw Till 4 thing, I was willing to, I knew that a lot of people were gaining weight and that it had failed. A friend kind of put me up to it because she knows I'm a skeptic and scientific minded, and I want to try different things to see if people's claims are true or not.
Yeah.
But I was doing all the smoothies. I was, high carb, low fat. I was trying to eat the 2,000 to 2,500 calories that they would claim. The only way I even came close as a woman was getting down to about 1,800 calories. And always felt hungry. My experience in the 5 years that I was a vegan, the first couple years I did feel excellent. And I think hindsight, it was just because, it wasn't because of being a vegan. I think it was because
going away from the standard American diet and just cutting out all the processed foods and junk, basically.
Mhm.
But then that feeling of tons of energy, euphoria, just feeling like great left. And it just progressively, the final 3 years, it got to where I had zero energy. I had skin conditions that were worsening. And eventually I just one day just said, I can't do this anymore. You know, I have to start eating a different way. This way of eating is not cutting it.
How was your digestion?
Mine personally was fine. I never had a problem eating vegan food. I liked it. I love cooking. I like eating fresh food. I also found for me that it was cheaper, like with the family situation. We were saving money on groceries just by eating, you know, I was buying fruit in bulk, rice and beans, all that kind of stuff. So I personally didn't have a lot of, but I was pooping all the time.
Yeah.
That's one thing they don't tell you. You'll be on the toilet, especially when you first switch. It takes a while for your body to get used to it.
Yeah, it's always a
'cause
mess too. Even when you do get used to it, it really just never gets, I don't know, optimal.
Oh,
like
and
where it's
peeing,
just
yeah.
the peeing
All
is
that
insane
liquid, peeing constantly. I would pee, like we'd go out to run errands. I'd pee first, and then 10 minutes later, I'd feel like I had to pee again because all that fruit is just nothing but water. And you know, and I was thirsty all the time too, which is weird. And
it's the sugar.
you know,
The sugar. If you have a bunch of sugar, you need to like clean your mouth out. Like it's like it's worse than salt. I talk about that as well. After eating a huge carb meal, because you need to then I guess it's, you know, carbs store with water. I think it's 1 part carb, 3 parts water, or something like that.
Oh,
To
totally.
store it in your muscles. So you're like your body just it sucks all the water out of you. You need to replenish it.
Oh yeah, like videos when I look back, it's so embarrassing. I swear I was carrying like 15 pounds of water around my jowl and my neck. It was horrifying. Like, yeah, it just didn't work for me. You know, people can have all these videos saying how it's the greatest thing, and I don't want to call them a liar, but maybe
Right.
for their personal physiology, but they have to be willing to admit that it just doesn't work for everyone. And there's some people that it simply is going to make them less healthy in the long run.
Hey, like I say, I just want them to give me a number. Tell me 1%, tell me 2% of people it doesn't work for, but vegans will never give you a number because they know that if they give you a number, that opens the door for the whole diet to be a flop. And they just won't do it because it's not a diet to them, you know?
Yeah. But I think too, like, and you probably can speak to some of this, when a lot of people go vegan, especially if you don't know any in real life, you get stuck in this echo chamber of only listening to other people that say how great it is and how wonderful. And the people that do speak out about it are just get drowned out, you know, and vegans won't. They won't admit the flaws in the diet. They won't, and in any of it. They say, oh, if this doesn't work great for you or you can't maintain being a vegan, then become a junk food vegan. There's ice cream now. There's hot dogs. There's this and that. You know, for you young people that don't want to just eat, you know, granola bars and banana smoothies, you can have Beyond Burgers and they'll just switch you on to another form of the vegan diet.
Yep. And did you happen to catch Happy Healthy Vegan's recent video with that bodybuilder guy? Where they talk about, see, vegans could build muscle. Did you see that? No?
No, but I should. I will now. I've kind of unplugged from a lot of vegan YouTube, like as a part of my deprogramming process.
That's a good thing to do, by the way. But the reason I bring this up is because I go, okay, this guy can build muscle. He clearly built muscle. Let's go see what he's eating. I go to his channel. His last video on the channel is what I eat in a day. Tons of vegan protein powder, tons of vegan mock meats. It's like, cool, you built your muscle, and half of the protein you eat or more is not even coming from your diet. It's coming from processed foods or supplementation.
Yeah.
I thought this diet was so natural. I thought you could just do anything on this diet, you know? And meanwhile, there's guys out there just eating meat and they're growing.
Vegans too, it's like they're such hypocrites that I found. Like that one guy, he had to go out and search to find an anecdotal example of somebody that's stacking muscle as a vegan. But then when people do the opposite and say, well, I lost tons of muscle mass when I was a vegan and I continued to eat then they'll say, well, you're an outlier. I'd have to see what you were eating. You could be lying about it, or that's just anecdotal. Most vegans do fine. So they want it both ways. They're not
Totally.
willing to admit, that some people thrive and others don't.
And I show what I ate for the last year I was vegan on one of my videos that I made. I show my chronometer and I show pictures. Certainly the final days, the final year that I was vegan, I did gain weight. I did gain muscle, but I gained also an excessive amount of fat in relation to the amount of muscle that I gained because of the carbs. And this is, I think, leads to the weight gain that people experience because there is that insulinogenic response. The blood sugar rises from the carbohydrates. The insulin has to meet the demand. You become so fat storing that you just can't get rid of the damn muscle. And then the only people out there that are like the durian riders that claim that carbs can't make you fat, it's because they're eating like no fat and they're doing tons and tons of exercise.
In my experience, there's like people like Durian Rider has probably never been fat, nor could he become fat regardless of what he ate. There are people that their metabolism will burn, but and I acknowledge that there are people that have these metabolisms that run so hot and so fast all the time that they won't gain weight. I mean, and if he did, maybe it'd be very insignificant, like 10 pounds.
Right. That's
then
like me.
Have other, Yeah, but then you have other people that literally their body is designed to store calories to fat. Those are the people like you see the Polynesians. There's a lot of Europeans that are that way, that can, regardless, always will be struggling with their dietary choices. And some of us happen to fall into that camp. It's like our bodies aren't meant. When you're on a high carb, low fat vegan diet, you have to eat all the time. And that is the worst type of diet to be on if you're a fat storer. It will constantly trigger you to be hungry again. Your body never gets to process. And, years ago, prior to becoming a vegan, I was actually into the fasting, into the ketogenics, doing 1 meal a day, doing fabulous on that. And I always said that if I ever stopped being a vegan, being plant-based, I would go back to that. And that's what I've done. And the weight has just been coming off. So effortlessly. So for a person like me, I would be stupid to not acknowledge it, to just die on an ideology. It's not worth it.
Well, I'm glad that you found your way and that you're also speaking out and helping people with this stuff, because the more people that do talk, I mean, like I don't know if you've seen in my channel, Molly Alf der Worst, for her, she was a extreme anorexic down to 64 pounds. And basically she said channels like this save her life. So like, you never know what service you're doing for people. And it's very helpful to just like be a voice for them, So thank you for doing
definitely. You've done amazing, like just bringing this out in the open, getting people to talk about it. I'm always stoked in your chat, like how many people are ex-vegans and even the most toxic, like carnivore type comment I've seen pales in comparison to the 5 years of stuff I've seen on vegan channels. Like, it is not bad at all. And people should be willing to just do some introspection and be objective about it. And especially people that have a lot of food aversions and look at food as good or bad, or some diet, especially people that are anorexic, they have to heal how they think about food. And going to some extreme form of diet, probably such as veganism, is not going to help them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for your call and for the support in the channel.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Bye.
All right. See ya. Bye. That was Newly Awakened. She made a point there at the end I did want to comment on after she got off. I'm too hungry. Can't think. But Justice S gave a huge donation, $20. I thank you so much, man. Love what you're doing for people, Drew. It is truly a service to the community. P.S. If you still have JJ's number, shoot her a text. She'd like to help with the experiments if possible. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Elise. Hey, thank you very much. I do have the number, but I don't know which one it is. So if you know her or if she's listening, you can text me at that number, and I should be able to. You could text me at the hotline number, and I'll be able to get back with you. Or, find me on Instagram at Drew Morg. Just DM me. It's going to be a little bit easier to sort the messages. I don't use this platform all the time, so I'm not always logged into this. So I actually recommend the Instagram. So I'm going to shut down the hotline, guys. I think this went really well. I really enjoyed this episode. And all the people who called in, thank you very much. I love talking to you guys. It's funny, man. And this may be a personality thing, so this is nothing personal to him, but Vegan Gains, he made a video a while back talking about how he stopped taking clients online because people that were literally paying him, he couldn't even interact with them. It's a very, very weird thing to me. Again, it could be a personality thing, but he's this famous online personality, so why is it so hard to interact with people, voice chat or video or whatever it may be, and they're paying him to speak with him, help him program their diets and stuff like that. He said he would get severe anxiety before speaking with them. So I don't know, man. I think that these type of calls are good. Just talking with people, getting more broad perspectives. Shauna says, Drew, do this again. Wanted to call, but I wasn't prepared. Would call next time. Okay, cool. Be prepared next time, guys, if we do this again. Green Smoothie Party says, my mom is regaining her health on a convenience food plant-based diet. It is fascinating to watch her progress. Her physician is amazed. Health is power. Awesome. I'm glad that she's doing better. Whatever it takes. I have a whatever works mentality, man. Just if that plant-based diet stops working for her in the future, there might be other options. Maybe a heavy animal foods-based diet, maybe a keto diet, whatever it may be. Let's see. Lester says, so they all do supplement, but the bulk of the diet is animal protein, and whey is more of a food than a supplement. Yes. And if you really think about it, Lester, and you, of course, you know this, is you can get in like 200 to 300 grams of animal food protein if you made that part of your, if you made that part of your system. Whereas it would be impossible to get even 150 grams of protein a day on a vegan diet from Whole Foods. So it's, yeah. Lester says Vegan Gains is also a novice lifter himself. He shouldn't be coaching. Well, as a big daddy lifter, you can say that to him. He's stronger than me. He's bigger than me. I don't have any opinion on people who are better than me at whatever it is. Jack Jackson gets 200 grams of protein in 2 meals. That's how I know you're not a vegan. Whey is very economical, cheapest protein source if I recall correctly. Whey is cheap, yeah. So is the rice protein. They're all the protein powders are cheap because they're freaking trash foods. Correct. And the vegan Whole Foods aren't as bioavailable either, on top of that. Jack Jackson is meat-based. We knew that. Come on. Social anxiety is nutrient deficiency. I don't know. I mean, I do feel calmer when I eat animal foods. It was something that I noted even in my 40-day carnivore experiment. I talk about it. It's a calm energy that you get when you're carnivore, or at least eating animal foods. He doesn't have coaching experience. Well, I mean, I guess you get coaching experience from coaching, but either way, he doesn't like doing it, and he's getting paid to do it, so I found that a little bit strange. Like, why wouldn't he do it? And what's there to be severely anxious about? You know what I mean? He's like a huge online personality. You'd think that he would be used to it. Jack Jackson says, no, I have social anxiety, and I'm not deficient. I've been like that all my life. I feel for you social anxiety people. I used to have severe social anxiety around certain people. And it would make me throw up. It was crazy. It was terrible. It afflicted me for like 5 years. It took me to get over it. I would get so nervous I couldn't eat. It was bad. Luckily, I've gotten over that like 99%. Sometimes there's just like a little hint of it here and there, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. I'm pretty confident with it now, which is really cool. Very big hurdle in life, though. So what I recommend, and you can take this for whatever it's worth, what I did was I just kept subjecting myself to the thing that made me feel anxious, and eventually got over it. Some people, I think, they give into the fear and they don't want to trigger the anxiety and they stay away from it. I think that's the worst thing you can do. Personally speaking, just my opinion. Shamansplaining, really appreciate the chat, Drew. Keep this up, mate. Thank you again for the support. Appreciate talking to you today as well. Take care of yourself, man. Don't, just keep the mindset afloat. You got this. Jack Jackson says, I've got better at faking it, but it takes a lot out of me. Dude, trust me, I know. And I'm not saying that nutrition or social anxiety is nutrition related, as somebody else pointed out. I agree. I don't know what really causes it. Yep. Maja says, I have social anxiety. You've just got to stay in those uncomfortable situations until the anxiety drops down like that. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the game, man. Vegan Gains has always been an antisocial people hater. That's what Mod Trend said. That's not what I said. That's what they said. I'm just reading. Alcohol does help. Alcohol does help. Just don't overdo it, because then you get stupid. And always make sure you eat with alcohol, guys. People who don't eat with alcohol, you're making the situation worse for yourself. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap the stream up here, guys. Again, appreciate all the support today. We had some great, huge donations. Another one coming through. Newly Awakened, $10. Thank you so much. Fabo Stream doing a great service, entertaining as well. Good luck on the new job. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Of course, I'll be here Saturday morning. I don't know who's going to be on the show. Maybe we'll reschedule Robbie Barbero for Saturday. And if not, then we'll try and get somebody else on the show. Somebody who hasn't already been in the works. Doodle's asking about the job. I'm going to be going back into sales. That's about as much as I can say about it right now. Unfortunately, the internet is a scary place when it comes to employment and real life things. I'd love to share more, but for now, that's what I can say. It's not inked. The deal is not inked yet, so I'm going to try and just kind of let it slide for now. Of course, I'll give updates as the time goes on. I hope to never stop my Saturday streams at the very least, one day a week. But Wednesdays is going to be... It's going to be probably impossible. I'm going to be out and about a lot. Yeah. Time to eat. Thank you for reminding me. I love when people are like, go to the gym and go eat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for looking out for me. Let's check the outro beat. Appreciate it, guys. Take it easy.